All right, and we are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast, episode number 71. And it's another glorious Sunday, and we are back at the round table on the Lord's Day. I'm extremely excited about our special guest, so we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord who, in my opinion, has some of the most passionate and balanced gaming perspectives in all these YouTube streets. This Lord is a true multi-platform gamer, is an extremely charitable member of our gaming community, and has authored some of the most thought-provoking articles you will ever read on TICGamesNetwork.com. Introducing the host of the Gaming Perspective podcast and writer/panelist of TIC's own Multiverse Show, the chief of achievements, gaming's true king of the North, and by far the best Canadian accent you will ever hear on YouTube. Making his debut into the realm of the Lords, my man, Lord Undead 3XVI. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I didn't figure out who you were talking about until about halfway through my intro. Then I said there's a Canadian accent. I don't know what you're talking about.
that's just natural for you, boy. That's natural.
Oh, yeah.
We got to adjust. No doubt, man. Absolutely. Just say one word for me. About.
There
we go. My man, what's going on, man? Absolute pleasure to have you. Long time in the making, so it's good to have you at the round table. You're a Lord in your realm. We respect what you're doing out here.
Appreciate being here.
No doubt. And of course, you know we got the four horsemen of gaming, those usual suspects at the round table. My co-host with the co-most, my brother from another mother, the difficult game conqueror, and the how of the young wolf. My man, Lord Attic, how you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. I do want to say that I will be announcing the the streaming schedule and stuff for the streamers of this podcast. So definitely be looking out for that.
No doubt. Absolutely pleasure to have you in the realm today. And of course, we have our most technical gaming Lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience, and also the Sostradamus, Mr. Offline Profile Illuminati, and Lord Patreon of the Iron Bank. My man, Lord Sovereign, how you doing, sir?
What's up, guys? Doing well, man. Doing well. Rested.
Nice. I hear it, man.
Yeah, yesterday's first weekend. I got to sit down yesterday, watch baseball. Actually,
I don't want to talk about Mets and Yankee stuff.
Let's talk about those Mets and them Yankees.
Hey, man.
Let's talk about that.
Hey, man. Y'all came out swinging on Friday. I can't be mad at you guys because listen, as
I don't associate myself with this team. Don't say you guys. I'm waiting for the Bopons to be fired. Thank you.
Ride or die, baby.
I refuse to pay attention for that until they put a better product on the field. They're a big market team shopping at Walmart, and I don't appreciate that. Don't disrespect my dollar.
I'm with you. That's how I feel about the Jets. I'm with you. I'm with you.
That's true, and they're far enough removed from the Madoff stuff that it should not be an excuse anymore.
Exactly. I boycott. I've have an internal boycott with the Mets in baseball until they resolve their issues. That's what you were saying. Right. What you was doing. Did you play some consoles?
Yeah, I actually turned on one of my consoles yesterday, so that was a good thing as well.
No doubt. And of course, we have the incredible Hulk of this, aka the Excess Gamer.
Ooh.
The Lord of Combat Sports, who is a man of his convictions, demands nothing less than that premium experience, and is the Get Money Gamer.
Ooh.
Lord King, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Yo, Xbot, look at your watch because it's about to go down.
Combat talk interlude.
I was looking at his watch know when it's about to go down.
Oh, no, that's just an inside joke. Shh, quiet. No, actually, I want to highlight a Lord and a friend to the realm, hip hop gamer.
Woo!
All right. Yeah, he did today. he was on the Lisa Everett show on Hot 97 this morning, talking about the gap in gaming and hip hop that is brought together and how the culture is pushing our genre forward. You know, San Diego Comic-Con is going on right now, and we are a part of that because they show a lot of video games there. We get a lot of our material for video games from comic books and other mediums. So I just want to give a shout out to that Lord that he's out here repping. He's working hard. It's 6 a.m. and I'm driving and I'm listening to him on the radio, and I had to shoot him a text and say, man, thank you so much and congratulations for all your success, because this guy never stops, is the humblest guy, and whatever opinion you may have of him, until you meet him and talk to him.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, King.
Yeah,
I know. Listen, hip hop, that's my dude, and I know we don't always see eye to eye on certain topics as far as gaming is concerned, but as a man, like, that is a real dude.
That's
like, if
a real dude.
Yeah, I would definitely, if you get the chance, definitely talk to that brother. He's really, really positive, down to earth.
I don't agree with like 80% of the stuff, but you know, there's no denying it that, like, when it comes to straight up passion towards the industry, there's not really too many people that surpass it.
Yeah, facts.
No,
Gotta give it
it's
up.
not. You know, he keeps the same energy with you. He's just a beautiful dude, and I was just so happy as I was driving to hear him and listen to the topics. I usually, when Lisa Evans come on in the morning, I turn it off. I'll be honest with you. But that today, they got my listenership because my fellow Lord was in the building and he was repping and he was doing it well. You know, so he was up there with some heavy hitters, you know, Roxanne Shante, a lot of hip hop, and he was holding his own
in the game. He was holding his spot.
Yes,
that's what's up.
They was talking about Queen's rap and how influential Queen's rap is to hip hop, and they talked about the stigma of hip hop and Queens and how they thought Queens was soft because, you know, hip hop just moved from Brooklyn to Queens, so that's where that meets, right?
Yeah.
So
then we had the whole KRS Boogie Down in the Queensbridge battle. So yeah, that's good to see. That's good to see. No doubt, man. Yeah, shout out to that. That's very positive. And of course, we have the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi, LordCognito, spreading that realness in the realm of the ILP, not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So before we get into what the Lords are playing this week, I want to start off with Lord Undead, his video game system history, his journey as a content creator, and of course, what led him to Tick's own Multiverse Show, and to now hosting the gaming perspective. So Lord Undead, let's start with it from the beginning, man. What were like some of the first video game systems you had? Like, what got you into gaming?
Well, the consoles weren't allowed in my house growing up because my older brothers were PC guys.
Okay.
So we started on, I started with PC and I started with games like Heretic, Hexen, Doom, Wolfenstein.
Oh, wow.
I was like 4 years old. They
threw you in the fire early. There wasn't no Frogger. It wasn't
no. We went straight to those. My mom's logic behind it was, it doesn't look that realistic, so it's fine.
Nice. You know, I remember, I'll never forget one day that it was way back before my mom really knew what games were about, and it was an Elder Scrolls game, and it was rated M. And I went to GameStop, dude, and that dude behind, like, he said, he's like, you know, this is rated M. And she's like, well, you know, it can't be that bad. And I'm thinking to myself, don't you mess this up for Magical. Like, don't you mess this up. At that time, like, you know, I was really young, you know, and that dude just, like, he looked at me, he gave me that, like, you know what, man? You going through. We good. Like,
oh man, I remember I was 6 years old. I went in with my brother. My brother was like 10, 11 at the time. We went in and they were buying GTA, like Grand Theft Auto, the original Grand Theft Auto for PC. So we go into the PC store, give the guy the money for it, and he's looking at us. He's like, I don't think you're old enough to buy this game. And my brother just looks him straight in the eye and goes, well, we're taking it anyway. And he just ran out of the store and left me there.
Wow. Yo, he pulled a real GTA with you in the store.
And he left me there. That was the best part. I'm saying, what just happened?
It's like he ran out and they just grabbed you. He's like, we couldn't get them all, but we got one.
We got one.
I'd be like, I don't know those guys. I have no idea who those guys are.
What ended up happening after he abandoned you? At the
Oh, well,
He got Tekashi 6ix9ine.
So they ended up like calling my parents, and they found my brother. He instead of going home, he ran to our friend's house and had already installed Grand Theft Auto and was playing it.
He said, "You can't stop me. It's already installed."
That turned into a whole thing. But yeah, so like I did that. Growing up, I played I'd go to my friend's house to play like PS2 and 64. I started getting those experiences. And first console I actually owned, I think I cut lawns for like 4 months across the whole street to buy a GameCube.
Woo!
And
I remember my first one that I actually owned was an N64 because I'm not like an ancient compared to some of the other people in the podcast.
Wait a second. You said you cut lawns for how many months?
4 months.
You must have been getting screwed.
What? What was you getting paid? 50 cents an hour?
It probably was like the same lawn every week. Or,
yeah. It was about 4 or 5 lawns every week. 4 or 5
lawns every week, and it took you 4 months?
Anchorman says,
what else was you buying? Yeah, like what would you know what it is? You probably brought the GameCube with probably like 10 games. That's probably what you did.
Also keep in mind, Canadian economy is not that great for lawn cutting.
Keep going. So GameCube was the first one. Give me some games for the game. Give me some standout Undead GameCube games.
Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, I'm about to say, if you don't say Luigi's Mansion, you're about to get kicked from the podcast.
First games I bought and played on the GameCube was Luigi's Mansion, Resident Evil 4, and obviously like Mario Kart Double Dash, because if you got siblings, you need that level of physical abuse in your life. Smash Brothers, all those kind of games. And I also, when I bought the GameCube, I bought that adapter for the Game Boy games underneath, so I didn't have to buy a Game Boy.
Yes.
I played Pokemon, all that kind of stuff, and it was great. And then after the GameCube, I bought the Nintendo Wii, and I went, this isn't it.
That wasn't it. That wasn't the move for you.
Sitting there. I'm like 13 or 14 years old. I'm sitting here waving a motion controller in my basement. This is not the movement.
It was down with that, man. Stop it.
It wasn't. But it was funny. We got to give Wii, even though we kind of clowned it.
No, we don't have to give Wii anything. We just stay where it's at.
Listen, I'm with you, Adam. But here's the thing, like. We can't forget
the Wii was the bomb.
Yeah, we can't forget the cultural phenomenon of the Wii, right? The Wii changed the game where like your mom might
Wii Sports had me in the living room sweating with a towel playing boxing. I don't care what nobody says.
That was one of the best boxing experiences on a console.
Yes, and I was in there like getting it, like really getting it, like throwing it until I found out that all you had to do was really go like this. but before I found out that you really had to sit down and just go like this with your hands, and you didn't have to really get into the mix, I was really hot and sweaty up there.
I love the Wii, but it in its life cycle, the worst game I've ever played was created. So. It to this day, because it butchered up until that point, I ain't never played any Legend of Zelda game I didn't like until Skyward Sword came out. So
you know what? And I want you. I want you to stop that, because we had this conversation offline already, and I would like for you to step away from that hot rock right there, sir. This is not about you. This is Undead's moment. So I would like for you to just stop right there, sir, and let Undead continue.
Regardless what kind
I love that game,
kind of stuff,
and I love this game, and it's about to get rage. You're about to get rage going. Let's go, Undead.
You walked into the Skyward Sword drama. We gonna move on from that. So the Wii, you had that, and you had which games though you have?
Well, the main reason I bought the Wii right off the bat is I think it was Guitar Hero 3 launched that day, and I was like, I looked at my buddy, I was like, we need this. He's like, yeah, you do. He's like, but I don't got a job. I'm like, well, I'm framing houses right now, so I'll buy it. So I went out and bought the whole band kit, everything, and it was
what?
There was like endless nights of not sleeping, playing Guitar Hero till like 4 o'clock in the morning. And then when I decided I wanted to like branch into a more traditional console, I was kind of on the fence between PS3 and Xbox 360. And I actually decided to go with the fat PS3 right off the top.
Interesting. What made you go that direction?
I went PS3 because like
Clearly,
and how many lawns did you mow for that? No, I'm just joking.
Yo, listen, let me tell you something. Okay, you didn't hear everything that he just said, right? And this is where I'm gonna have to call fraudery because he was getting them ducats because he said that it came out with Guitar Hero. He went and brought the whole set. Yes. And you know that set cost a pretty penny, right? Now, when he brought the PlayStation 3, he said the fat one. Notice he said that was. Yeah, the fat one, that was $700. Okay, it was $699, and then I don't know about the inflation or the cost of money up there because I understand that the difference is great.
Out the door, the PS3 out the door plus taxes and everything. It was $1,032.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Woo! That's what I'm talking. Big bucks. So. You're not fooling me when you talk about you was cutting grass. You had a team cutting the grass with you, and you was getting that guap. That's right, slave labor. Let's go.
Look. Apparently, like homie's brother don't mind, like playing the 5-finger discount, so it could be that too.
Yo, and he had his brother Ninja in the games in the side. Like,
wow. So wait, Undead, you went pretty big, man. You went
$1,000.
See, the thing was, the correlation was I really enjoyed video games, but my family didn't really have a lot of money while I was growing up, so we didn't have a lot of the video games. That's why we went PC, is because back then with PCs, you didn't really have to upgrade at all.
Yeah,
for the most part. So that's why my brother stuck with PC gaming. But as soon as I got a job at 14, I was framing houses. I was bringing home like $1,000 a week. I was like, okay, now we're talking.
No doubt. I'm going to do me.
Yeah. So like in like a 12-month period, I bought the Wii with the Guitar Hero bundle. I bought the fat PS3. I bought the Xbox 360. I went through like 4 of those because of the damn Red Ring of Death. And yeah, I started playing on both of those. My fat PS3 died 2 years after I bought it, so I was kind of like
the yellow bar. You got the yellow bar on it.
Yeah.
It happened to me too. The yellow. Nobody talked about that yellow light of death. Nobody talks about that, but it was very real out here.
Yeah. So like I was like, okay, well, I don't really want to buy another PS3 because it was a little pricey. I already had a 360, so I just decided I traded in my like arcade 360 and bought the black Xbox 360 Elite. And I just I kept gaming on the 360. Started doing Halo tournaments, started doing COD tournaments.
Nice.
Doing the 4v4s and everything with my brothers and friends, and it was great time. And then
actually, I think you're the first guest to really say like one of the first that basically said that during the start of that last generation that they went through with PS3 initially. Any other standout titles for or like the Last of Us or anything like that? Or
the thing with the PS3 why I went to it was because I basically bought the PS3 on the grandeur of the PS2.
Right.
Because it was like, oh well, the PS2 was an absolute barn burner, an amazing console. So it made sense. And like none of my friends had Xbox.
I got you. Makes sense.
And then everyone bought PS3s and was like, well, this is this is the thing.
Got it. You wanted to say something else, I guess. But no, you actually made a good point because I'm trying to think myself in that time. PS2 was fantastic. It definitely had and you probably kept the momentum. It reminds me of parallel to like a lot of the 360 guys that kind of kept the momentum and stayed loyal to the Xbox brand and go into the Xbox One kind of deal. Kind of you had almost a similar mentality with the PS2 going into PS3.
Yep. And nice. I ended up doing the same thing with the 360 going into the Xbox One. I was actually one of those people when they were like, oh, it's always online and everything. I'm like, groovy, I got good internet. I'm with this, whatever.
No doubt.
Did the man just say groovy?
Yes, he did. Yo, shout out to
did.
Jay
Yes, he
Bone
did.
Boy in the chat. He said the PS3 looked like a George Foreman grill.
Wow.
It did look like a George Foreman grill with the Spider-Man logo,
But
but
the
I'm not gonna
Spider-Man logo
front.
was clean, King.
Yes. When you
nice.
opened it out the box, though, how it felt like you felt that you got your $6.99 worth.
Oh, no,
like when you
absolutely.
pulled it out,
And it had the sheen,
all the money
it was
there.
very shiny.
It was
and now the fat one, didn't that one, correct me if I'm wrong, King, was that the one that had the backward compatibility, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
It had
The
the touch
PS2
buttons
built
at the top.
into the PS3.
Right.
Yeah,
And
it had a
let-
whole PlayStation 2 inside.
Yes,
Like,
and
yeah.
let's also remember at launch, because there was a big lawsuit after this, but Sony removed it. Sov, help me out. Didn't they have Linux as an OS in the PS3?
Yep.
No, well, you can add it. They had it so you can add
add
Linux to it. And
Yeah,
then
well, you have the option. Yes.
right. And when they removed it, then people sued because people sue
Yes.
for anything.
Yeah, 'cause they're like, yo, you sold me under the pretense that all your systems would have this, and then I guess as they came out with later iterations, they removed that functionality as well as the backward compatibility.
This is why you could tell the mentality of the PlayStation. When remember they got burnt before, so that backward compatibility stuff, they went the hardware route with it instead of software, and they put it inside the box. And they noticed that the attach rate of these guys playing older games wasn't there, so they removed it. So you can understand why all these new systems, they don't care about going backwards because they got ripped already a new one out of doing that, so they don't care. They can't do it software wise.
Cool, man. Tremendous history, man. Loving these systems, these games. Took me down PS3 lane, man. It's that one of the first guests that really, rocked out very hard on that stuff. And then you obviously transitioned to the PS3. So I know we've been talking a lot about Canada and gaming in the North. So explain to us, Lord Undead, like give me the whole vibe from, obviously the most of the Lords here are not from Canada, like as far as gaming. And I believe we asked Kofi this question as well. Like, what's it like just gaming in Canada? Like, what's give us some.
It's like gaming in the States, except with worse internet.
Really?
It's
Lord Kofi's actually been complaining about the internet here lately.
Really?
Yeah. Our internet can be trying.
That's
I've got fiber where I'm at, so I'm good that way. But
that's bad because American internet is not the greatest. So if you guys are worse than ours, we both need to work together and remedy that stuff.
But I don't know. It's a different vibe in Canada. Like I don't know, because like I didn't join social media till like the later stages. Like I didn't join social media for like gaming stuff until like after the Xbox One, PS4 launched. But like it was always like where I lived, it was always like it was cool to be a gamer. Like that was fine. Like if you went to school and you played video games, that was fine. Yours fine as the guys that played sports. I did both, so it's kind of like the best of both worlds.
Oh, what you play? What you play? You better play basketball because you're 6'7".
I played tight end high school football for 4 years. I did MMA for 6 years.
Wow.
Wait, your school had MMA?
He said the school.
What?
Time
out. You gotta see my face. I said, what type of school did you go to? And I gotta get my kids to Canada yesterday. So, combat sports for school.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I did a lot of things. Like I did, I started doing I started karate when I was 4 years old. That's what my mom put me into because she didn't want to put me in hockey or anything too stereotypically Canadian.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you. You just answered my question. I was like, how did you avoid the hockey influence? Because a lot of my friends,
like my family's Irish immigrants, so like they don't feel the whole hockey vibe. They're more the combat sports vibe.
Ooh, yeah, yo, shout out to your parents. Shout out to your parents. I'm gonna give you a shout out to your parents. I feel that. Irish immigrants, they're about that.
You don't even want to see my house during a Conor McGregor fight. You don't even want to see it.
That's lit.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Trust me. Yes, I do. I'll be right there in the middle with y'all screaming and yelling. Yeah.
In the chat, man. He said hockey is expensive as hell.
It's true. Like to put your kid in hockey up here. Like my niece is going through hockey right now, and it's like $4,000. Put your kid through a season of hockey. Like nobody got time for that.
But do you not like the sport of hockey at all? Like really, do you not follow it?
I like the fighting part of hockey. That was the part I was good at. But
yo, I'm really loving this guest. I'm really loving you right now. I'm trusting me when I'm telling you this.
Yeah, Undead is killing it, man.
He about that fist game. That's what he's. You know what he's telling you? Don't run up on him at any shows. Don't run up on him in the store talking about Undead. What's up? He's about that life. He just told you he don't care about anything else but the fight. But he grew up with a bunch of brothers fighting. All right.
Shout out to Jonathan Beast and this man took.
Look, let me tell you. Like I grew up with. I've got 6 brothers, 2 step brothers, and a sister.
Wow.
And I'm one of the smaller ones.
Are you serious?
What? You had to fight for lunch.
Wait, you're one of the smallest of the...
my oldest brother David. He's 31 now, and he's 6'9" and about 400 pounds.
I don't want no smoke with the Undead family.
Yo, your parents was making biggins. That's right.
I feel sorry for my mom. My mom's only 5'1". Like I give her full credit for having put up with all of us.
Salute, man. So yeah, man, that's dope. The Canadian experience, getting some inner knowledge behind the scenes with Lord Undead. Let's get into like the YouTube journey. So obviously, where I first came across you and introduced you to was Lord Anchorman on the Multiverse. So how did that start? How did you get to know Lord Anchorman?
Okay, so Anchorman I met through on Facebook because we used to be part of a Facebook group called We Game Here.
Oh yeah, I heard about that through Attic.
And we used to go back and forth all the time, and basically me and him became friends because we were both Bethesda fanboys. To
I have to pick you up the show now.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
A lot of flirting going on here.
See you later.
Salute to Bethesda, super quality games. We troll it.
So basically, Fallout 4 trailer came out, and Anchor messaged me on Facebook and was like, "We hyping this whole group for the next 3 months."
Oh my God, you're his partner in crowd. You're his enabler.
Yeah, we basically trolled that group into oblivion.
You guys are the reason I left. Constantly posting like pictures of. I remember when Fallout 4 was about to come out, Anchorman had like a different looking train every day. Stop the Fallout train. Well, guess what? Anchorman, Fallout 4 sucked. So
don't say
Lord, here we go.
Continue.
So I started talking to Anchor that way, and we ended up leaving that group or whatever, and I went to a different Facebook group or whatever, and he's like, "You should start a Twitter. It's fun." Hate him for that ever since.
That's exactly what he would say. It's fun.
Yeah, that's Anchor, man. That's Anchor.
It's fun, all right. Hey, listen, we got 50 people viewing. Let's get these likes up. Come on, hit them likes, brothers. Let's go.
I appreciate it. Continue.
So me and him talked back and forth. I started with a group called Hard Knock Gamers. They started a website up, and I started writing for them initially. And that was me, Fame, Demigod Reviews, a couple other guys that were writing on that site and doing stuff that way. And
that went on for a while. Like, I remember We Game Here was gone for it was up for about 6 to 8 months.
Yep. So we had that site going. It was popping pretty good. And then Hard Knock Gamers got absorbed by the Inner Circle, which is an all too familiar scene for a lot of people.
Shout out to Tick, baby. Let's go.
Shout out to Tick being the Borg.
Yeah, absorbing other races.
With the get out, lay down.
That's right.
So I got picked up for the Inner Circle. I started as a writer there, and Anchor's like, I actually started doing podcasts because Hard Knock Gamers had a podcast which was called the Writer's Block Podcast, which used to be me, Fame, Kid Smooth.
Wasn't that was one of the ones Kid Smooth hosted, wasn't it?
Yep. That was one of the ones. It was me, Kid Smooth, Fame. I think there was a guy named Matt.
Okay.
And Nicodemus as well.
Kid Smooth don't believe in like restarting a podcast. If he stops doing a podcast for like 2 months, he's just gonna do another whole new podcast. 3 podcasts.
It's just some guy named Matt. Just somebody named Matt.
It's a random dude.
Matt.
No.
Yeah. So we started on that. Anchor was like, "Hey, me and Fame do this show. We do the Multiverse Show. It's just the 2 of us. You want a guest on it?" I was like, "Sure, whatever. I'll show up." So I did like an episode, and then they're like, "Hey, you want to come back for the next episode. I'm like, sure. And then I've just never left. Basically.
You're the reoccurring guest, infinite guest.
I just keep waiting for him to message me the one day and be like, yeah, we don't need you here on Monday. You can, your contract's been.
That is the inside joke of Multiverse. I hear you guys talking about. It's kind of funny. Dope, man. So did obviously, you know, we have now what we know you for is the gaming perspective. So I believe we got our Lords Eric Jackson, Rage Virus, and of course Lord Editor Sam Tober, who is on a lot of podcasts, by the way.
It's actually funny.
Sam since E3 has been going crazy.
It's funny because Sam went from not being on any podcast to all in 1 week because it went. Me and Anchor was talking. He was like, "Oh, you should have Sam guest on your podcast." I'm like, "Sure." So we had Sam on the podcast. I was like, "This is great. I want to get this guy on my podcast." So I messaged Sam on Sunday. I'm like, "Hey, you want to become part of the podcast or whatever?" And I'm waiting on a response. And the Anchor messages me and goes, "Oh, we just got Sam locked in for Multiverse Tech podcast." I'm like, "Oh." Well, let's see how this goes. And Sam's like, "Yeah, I'll take on a third one." I'm like, "You the man. You are."
So big.
I do 2 podcasts, and I feel suicidal multiple times a week. So I cannot even begin to understand.
Dude, that Lord Sam is a beast. Like, not only is he doing like 3 or 4.
I'm convinced he doesn't sleep. I'm really convinced. I'm convinced that people don't like. I'm convinced that he's actually a robot. Like,
yeah, I mean, I never saw him sleep in the house. I know he was always working and always.
He doesn't sleep. He recharges his batteries.
Know what it is? You know what it is? His hair sleeps for him. So when his hair is down, it's sleeping.
Is it like built up static electricity that just keeps his whole body on?
Yeah, Lord Sam. No doubt.
Oh man, it's true though, because like I'll put an article pending at 3 a.m. I'll DM him and be like, "Hey, this article synced for you when you get up." I'll get a message 5 minutes later. "Oh, it's posted."
Yep.
Oh yeah. He's a machine. He's a machine, man. And we love him.
He's for real about that, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, and a hell of a guy.
Absolutely. So Dead. It was a pleasure working with him at E3, and hopefully more future things we have planned with Lord Sam, man. Great dude. Great team you got with Undead, because you got Lord Eric Jackson, who I actually really enjoy his perspectives on Twitter.
Friend of the realm.
You know, friend of the realm as well, and Brap, and then of course Lord Rage Virus, who I'm just getting to know. And really cool dude. So what kind of, like you just said, so you got the Sam part. So then let's bring in, how did Eric Jackson and Rage Virus come in?
Well, see, the original idea of the gaming perspective, because I bounced around starting my own podcast with Anchorman for a long time, and what I wanted to do was a revolving panel of guests, basically.
Okay. And
then I started to realize how much of a pain in the ass that would be to get guests every week, especially multiples, and then not have cancellations and everything else. So what I decided to do is I get a core group of guys that I want to get on a podcast, invite them for a one-off, and then see how the vibe was.
Yes.
So I got Eric. Rage came recommended from Anchor because we have a Multiverse, and he was like, "Hey, he's Canadian. You Canadians get along."
Why that's got to be the requirement? I love it.
So we got it on. Me and Rage hit it off. Me and Eric have always talked great. I've been on Brap once or twice, and it was always great. So getting Eric on was fantastic. And then it was just the stars aligned right to get the exact people I wanted for that podcast, which is fantastic, because I didn't think it would be that easy. Like, I was figuring it'd take me about 10 episodes to iron out who I'd have on my panel, and it literally solved itself in 2 weeks.
No doubt, man. That's a great group, and I'm looking forward to the journey, man. You guys getting started. When I seen the lineup, I said, yeah, that's going to be something. If they stick with it, that's going to be something, because you got a little bit of everything, different perspectives. And I love the name. Like, tell me about the name Gaming Perspective.
Well, originally what the gaming perspective was going to be, it was back when I actually thought I was going to have time to do a YouTube channel. I was going to do like a Friday topic breakdown every week, and that was going to be what I was going to call the series. And then I sat there and went, that's actually not a bad branding for a podcast.
I like it.
I was like, no one else does podcasts on YouTube, so this is like a totally original idea that no one else has ever had.
Yeah, the lane's wide open.
There's no competition in this field.
Yeah, funny. No doubt. That's what's up, man. I love it a lot. Like I said, it gets people to think. And like I said, one thing about you on Twitter that I like, you're one of my favorite follows, because I think you're bold in reference to saying things that need to be said that a lot of people, and I don't necessarily consider you like a person that follows the trends and stuff like that. You'll say what I feel is important. And definitely, like I said, if you're not following Lord Undead, please do, man. Really, really cool Twitter follow and just good dude. So this is a personal question, Lord Undead. Tell me the whole meaning behind the name. Like, where did the Undead and the 3XVI and
okay, so this goes back to the 360 days.
Okay,
this is so originally my Xbox gamer tag, which I think Cal won't kick me off the podcast if I say this. It was originally Pwn Your Nuts, PWNUR, and that's why I used for when I was playing Halo competitively.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of me and my friends were like, we should make a clan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so what should we call it? We're like, I don't know. And like I can't remember what the theory was. I think it was like the 3XVI was supposed to be 6, and then you're supposed to use the 3 to multiply the 6. My one friend came up with it. It's supposed to be 6.
Oh my Lord.
It was the most convoluted clan tag I've ever seen in my life. But we all threw down our $20, and like 9 of us changed our, like there's myself, there's my friend who's Beyblade 3XVI.
What's a bunch of
like,
3XVIs
there's all
right
variations.
now.
Like a lot of those guys don't game anymore and whatnot. But we were pretty solid back in the competitive days. Won a couple $1,000 doing COD tournaments and everything that way. And
that's what's up.
Traveled stateside, did some MLG events, and
you a hustler.
Oh, he do this.
He's a hustler.
So what I'm hearing is you're the one that carries Anchorman through.
Pretty much he's the best, but Anchorman's talking that smoke. This is the guy we got.
Basically, I'm the guy that Anchor when he talks trash. He's like, "Hey, you good at this game? Yeah, we good."
Yeah, the fraud has been exposed live on the air, and you know what? That kind of makes sense.
When I
called out your boss
against you.
He said he does carry.
When I called out your boss, and I was going at your boss, I noticed that all y'all was stepping up and trying to shield the boss because he really can't game.
Look at him. Look at that damage control. I got the strategy and they got the kills.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like when we play Rainbow Six Siege, there was a game we were playing Rainbow Six Siege. It was me and the Multiverse guys, and we're playing or whatever, and we wrapped up the game. It was a complete sweep. I was like 9-1. Anchor was like 0-1, but he had more like spots. He spent the whole time on cameras. He had more points.
So he spent the whole time like he's there.
I got the strategy.
He said, Anchorman's a snitch. He's an informant.
This man had more points than me. I had 9 kills, and this man had more points than me on spots. And he literally says to me in the party, he's like, "Well, you might want to step up your game then." I'm like,
"What?"
Sounds like Anchor.
Wow.
I'm always the backup guy, and that's the same thing as like when we wanted to do Rainbow Six Siege against you guys, and he was like, "Oh,
that was a setup." Disclaimer to that was a Freudian challenge. He said it on a day that nobody was listening to the show. He initiated a challenge. Then he came at me with, I said it, and I wasn't even on the show yet. So, and then I challenged him one-on-one, and the whole team was trying to shield him because they know he don't got skills. And I'm so happy you are on today, and you have exposed the fraud with no clothes. We got him. Got him.
If he's still up for some kind of challenge, man, like that private PvP's in Destiny now. Let's go. Like,
yeah, I think so.
Okay, I've got pretty good base on what FPS I can play. I ain't gonna try to square off against you boys in Destiny.
Yeah, that's competition. That's all it is, man. But yeah, that's really, really cool, man.
And see, I give Anchor credit for the Rainbow Six Siege challenge because he was like, "Oh, we're gonna get the guys to practice," and then he's like, I also got my friend Morganism who plays ranked a lot.
Oh my god!
Wow!
I told you, kid.
I'm so happy
for this.
That, remember when I told you, Sovereign and Incognito? I told you all things will be revealed, and it took a couple of shows, but we got a leaky faucet in here today, and brother, the tea has been spilled, and Kermit the Frog is drinking his tea.
Anyway, yo, real quick. Oh, I know we call you the chief of achievements. I can call you the chief of achievements. And one thing about you, Undead, like you're a beast out here in these gaming streets. Because you know for a fact, I just have a little mini Undead story. Is there was 1 month where I wasn't playing Destiny, and I think it was before Destiny 2 launch, and I sat to myself and I said, you know what? I gotta do this. I gotta 1 month of my game. I see Randall every time. I see Undead every time. All these guys on my friends list that are just killing it with gamer score for the month, and even Addict. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go hard one time, right? So I was going extra hard, right? Every Telltale game was finished that month, right? Every easy achievement game, I'm sitting there. Shout out to Megatron too. He was part of it because I remember the people I was battling. It was Rand, it was Megatron, it was and then it was Undead. And I remember like 2 days, I took like a little break. I came back and you were like within, 50, 100 points within my score. And I'm like, oh no. And it's like towards the end of the month. So I had to go extra hard. And I finally pulled it out. But I want to shout you out for that because, if people don't know, Undead goes hard for these monthly achievements, man. How did that start?
Yeah, I think I was going to say my record for the most I ever sat down and did in 1 month was like, I think 21,000.
Jesus,
that's out of control.
And that was for a charity thing, so that's the only time I can justify sitting down and doing that because that requires way too much coffee. Way too much coffee.
That's not out of control. Sovereigns are like, no,
no.
Sovereign not about that life. That selfish life of yours doesn't call for that.
Yeah, he said some of those achievements required me to be online. No.
Definitely not happening.
And last but not least, we ask every guest this: Lord Undead, your top 5 games or franchises of all time. Let's go.
Good Lord, I should have prepared for that.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go Hitman for number 5. Metal Gear Solid for number 4.
Okay. Boy, like stealth.
Oh, huge
stealth. You and Sovereign will be friends. Yeah. Stealth.
Splinter Cell's number 3.
Yo, all stealth over. Sovereign's loving you right now.
Number 2 and 1 are gonna be tricky though.
So the Tenchu. That's what the Tenchu.
Yeah, Tenchu. Where's Tenchu at?
That's probably too
never
old
played,
for him.
unfortunately.
Yeah, they used to young.
What?
Because Lord Undead, not to put you out there, Undead, but you're like going to turn 25 soon. This is young cat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get it.
I'm gonna say Halo for number 2, just because of the amount of sheer time that I spent on that game.
No doubt.
And number 1, it's gonna be God of War.
Wow. So now let me ask you, you were God of War like from the jump, even before this latest one?
Yeah, God of War. Like me and my brother beat the original God of War. I think we beat at least 10 to 15 times.
Wow, tremendous. Hold on, we have a violation in the chat. Rage Virus said Tenchu is in the bushes. We have to now remove him from the chat. The moderators attack.
He said throw Tenchu in the bushes.
Y'all know what to do, chat. Attack that man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That is the ultimate ninja game. When all the ninja games were doing crazy magic and all that crazy stuff, that game brought ninja stealth into it. And
that was stealth before Metal Gear Solid.
Yes. And then the last one I had that I remember was the Xbox one, the 4-player co-op one. Remember that one? But anyway, that was lit. But yeah, shout out. We know we just playing with you, Rage Virus, but don't you dare say that again. Anyway, fantastic history, Lord Undead. Love what I'm hearing. The games was lit. The history was lit. So we're gonna get into what the Lords have been playing. So what have you been recently playing, Lord Undead? What's been going on in your Xbox or PlayStation?
Let's see. I bought a PC there a month or 2 ago. So I've kind of been dabbling in some old games. I've been bouncing between Dark Forces, which was an old DOS game.
Wow,
you taking it back?
And Baldur's Gate 2.
Oh wow, okay.
Wow.
Were these based on suggestions from friends or something, or just?
No, these were games that I played with my brothers all the time. That I was like, I need to play
Nice.
these again.
Nah, yeah, because that's
So-
a nostalgic thing. That's your history. That's where you started. That's right.
Yeah, it's just good to get back into some of the older stuff. And I've been playing PUBG almost religiously.
King is loving you right now.
Yo, add me right now.
Recruitment.
Add me now.
Undead,
Yes.
did you play all the Jedi Knight games or just Dark Forces?
I played all the Jedi Knight games growing up. Those were all
Those are the
fantastic.
best. Oh, I love those.
I like hearing this, man. That is like it's unique because he's young, but he's got
But he's
this.
still got a
Yeah, like he's very.
OG vibe.
The
He's
Lord
the
of
OG
perspective.
because he had 6
the young
brothers.
OG.
He fought. He got
Yeah.
years off of his life.
Facts.
Years is off of his life. He woke up fighting. Who got the porridge? Fight. Like
No doubt. Yeah, man. So that note. So pretty much it's been memory lane. PC.
Yeah, memory lane, PUBG, just chilling,
No
chilling.
doubt. Lord Addict. What have you been playing this week?
Pretty much Halo Wars 2 and Fable. That's all.
Nice.
Like,
See you going
I've
hard
been-
on the streams.
I've been playing a lot of Halo Wars 2 because they just did the final patch and pretty much made it to where if you want to win a game, just go for a bunch of Hornets. And that's all. Like,
No doubt.
Lord Addict, you boning up on your Fable, getting ready for that new Fable announcement next year. Getting ready for that. That's what you feeling in your bones.
well, I do feel like I'm gonna play them all again,
Nice.
but I got to see exactly. Like, I'm not saying the new Fable is gonna be bad.
Mhm.
I'm just saying that I'm a little skeptical of people who race cars making a game called Fable. So,
Okay.
and that's nothing like bad against them. It's like
No, I
the
understand your
person that
concerns.
Undead. You know, when Lord Richard was on, you know, he said they have people there that you know, they made open adventure games. Like everyone that makes a game like a racer doesn't mean everyone only has made a racer.
Yeah, that's racist. Yeah.
When people have when you see people make a racing game like Forza Horizon, they're like, "Yo, we're making an open world action adventure game." You just like scratch your head, like what? Like
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. I get it, but maybe they might bring something different to the genre that hasn't been done, and you know, open the minds up. So I don't know. Hey, listen, you know what? I'm gonna give them a chance because
I am too, obviously.
Microsoft is trying. Let them swing.
I'm really thinking that, you know, you want my opinion. I think that Microsoft, because they said Playground wasn't up for sale. Like they said they liked their independence, but when they wanted to make a Fable game, I feel like Microsoft used that to persuade them to let them purchase them.
Salute to Lord Sam. He said Playground is building a second studio for Fable. You need not be concerned.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
Well, I mean,
Sam is so hard in these streets.
Look, Lord Sam. All
It's
these
so hard.
studios keep screwing up my beloved franchises. Final
just
Fantasy
nervous.
is pretty
I feel you.
much dead.
I feel you.
You know, Fable is like the last thing that's left.
I
And
like that
Legends almost
Final
ruined it.
Fantasy, that last Final Fantasy. I really liked it.
A lot of people I heard liked it too.
Yeah, I can't really go with you on a lot of things. I understand you want the purity. See, my purity with the Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy 3 when the job system and everything was in there. So then I go all the way back to that fun part. But to be honest with you, I really enjoyed this one. That's the one that yanked me away from my Xbox, and for a very long time, God of War couldn't even yank me away from my Xbox like that. That yanked me away, and you remember we was going back and forth talking. I'm like, yo, I gotta go because I gotta play on this PlayStation. I'm be alone in the void.
Oh my! I gotta be in the void.
I was in the void. Seriously, to be honest with you, when they came out with the app and I was able to talk to you guys about being in the chat and playing, that's the same time that stuff came out, and that was the best thing for me. So I can the FOMO was gone, so I could play my Final Fantasy while talking to Hot Monkeys on the Xbox, and that took away that problem. So I like the game. I thought it was nice. This is just
No
my
doubt. No, I get where Addict's coming from. You know what I'm saying? If it's my beloved franchise, I definitely, you know, you're always gonna have your antennas up. Yeah, and who's doing what and yada yada yada.
Yeah, don't touch that. Yeah.
Exactly. Lord Sov, what you been playing this week now that you got a chance to turn on consoles?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been playing a lot of the Hollow Knight on the Switch, like that. How the Metroidvanias, man. Like once you start opening up things, and then you remember where certain things you couldn't get to before, and you have this, and then that opens up a whole can of worms. Like, man, you just get lost. And that game is great. Control super tight. Atmosphere of the game is beautiful. And then on home consoles, I turned on my PlayStation because I had an itch to play some MLB The Show. And then I remember like a month ago, I had gone hard on getting back into Horizon Zero Dawn because I had left that. Once Zelda came out, I sort of left it in the rear view mirror. And then, that game, I had my issues with that game in terms of like the gameplay getting repetitive, just certain things about the world being super empty. But again, it's a post-apocalyptic world, but it's a beautiful game. But the two things that game does really well is like character interactions, like conversations between characters that, it really brings out personalities and the story.
Yo, the chat is going in on you right now. They
put
sleep icons, Verizon mini yawns.
I'm watching it. I want to know, when did this happen? Because it's like the worm
but I'll say this. But this is the thing though, like everybody said that. I've never said that there's parts of that game that got boring. Now, I will say this. That story, for all of you who stopped playing, and for reasons that I completely agree with, that story is bonkers.
Oh, okay. So it's a slow burn. Like,
the story is Skynet, but on some other level. Like the story, it's worth it to beeline the story and forget about everything else.
You know what I can't wait for?
Yo, he said Fable Connect. Oh, I'm done.
I'm done. That is out of control. What are you waiting for, Attic?
I'm waiting for Moonlighters to come out on the Switch so you guys will actually play it.
Wow,
that may be true. But
I do want to. I do want to get.
I'm not playing that on my Xbox at home, and I got.
I do want to give a game like a little bit of a shout out. Like shout out to that 20XX game. Like if you guys got that's a really good game for this.
Yeah, battery stable. That's the dude right there. We got a chance to meet him at our PAX, and King was making fun of my bad platforming in that before you're taking the footage of that would be at.
That's so hilarious.
So just basically the gist is give it a chance.
Give the story to forget about the rest of the stuff. The rest of the stuff does get boring and repetitive. The story,
it's lit.
Beeline the story.
Okay, I'm on it. Now you got my attention back. I definitely got to get back to that. All that stuff, man. No doubt. Lord King, what you been playing, man?
Oh boy, let's get it. Yo, that Destiny is lit. It is so lit. It is so crazy right now. Shout out to the clan. All right, if you're not in ILP's Iron Lord podcast clan on Destiny, there's something wrong with you. I'm going to tell you right now, I want you to go there. I want you to go to your Xbox. I want you to add me. I want you to add Attic. I want you to add Sovereign whenever he's on, and LordCognito. Contrary to popular belief, I am not the only ad man. So stop, yelling at me, talk about ad.
I hit Rage up. I got him. Well, a couple other people hit me up.
All right, I want y'all to get in. All right, let me tell you something. We have some serious tryhards. I'm gonna give a shout out to young Chris. I'm gonna give a shout out to T4. These guys already got the Black Spindle with the catalyst almost complete.
They're savage.
Our team is running so hard. They hit the ground running, and we play crazy.
Shout out to Punk Edition in the chat, man.
I don't know because I don't even have the gun. I don't have the gun. I was trying yesterday, and I did 8 hours trying to get that gun. 8 hours, okay? I want you to understand how my day got folded. Sitting, and majority of that is sitting there waiting for that damn instance to start.
Yep.
Yo, it is crazy. And when it does start and you kill a dude, you feel so vindicated when you get into the world. It is the wildest jumping puzzle. If you can't jump, don't do it. You're not getting the gun. You're not getting the gun.
Well, I heard.
Just sit on the floor, Cognito.
Yeah, that was for me. That was a shot for me, and he's right. But I did hear.
You're not sitting on the floor. It can't put no
I heard. Shout out to Lord Kaibatsu. I did hear from a good authority that there's a way to get past all the entire segment. So, and once he found out,
I'm gonna try it today.
You don't even have to do those jumps.
Yeah.
All right. Well, also I was playing PUBG. PUBG had a big update, and Death and I got in the world, and I just got killed. It was something crazy that happened yesterday. Shout out to Death and Hot Monkey that's always down for that, and L Boogie who's always down for that smoke. That's the other clan on PUBG. And listen, shout out to the stream team. You guys already hitting the floor running. Y'all keep blowing up my phone every time I'm asleep. I have to put y'all on mute. I got that chat on mute because you guys go in. Snaldo, you're the man, 100%. I gotta give you a shout out. But please, Destiny is back. That feeling is there.
What did I talk about last week? What did I talk about last week about putting stuff into the game that creates mysteries for people?
Yes, you said
keeps
that.
You engaged.
Said that stuff during the average joint. Yeah, you said that too.
I was like, listen, man, this is not a big thing, and this is stuff that was in Destiny 1, and this is what got you guys hooked in to begin with. Give me something, and I don't have any idea why it's there. Just follow the breadcrumbs into something, and then you have people posting videos about how do you do this, how do you do that. Like, man,
that's what creates it.
That's what you create. That's how you create
do it. You're right.
Sostradamus.
You are correct. You literally said it word for word, and then it just happened this week. But if that's what you got, King, I'll jump in real quick. Same thing.
I'm done.
Yeah, same thing. Destiny 2 pretty much all day. We just talked about this on Flashpoint with Lordy Bontis. It's almost to that point where I'm getting back to becoming a full-time Destiny player again. And it's just what Saab said, just what King said. That mystery. It's like they finally understood why people love their game and why they, that departure, what they did at the launch was such a bad move. So, you already shouted out, Young Chris at T4. I mean, that man's a beast. I want to shout out a couple lords, Lord Monkey, Lord Addict, obviously, Whiskey, obviously you, Lord King. We had that little start with the Leviathan raid. Didn't get a chance to finish.
We finished that when I got back home.
I finished it. You know what I'm saying? But y'all finished that. Shout out to Lord T4, man. That man is a tactician. He runs a tight ship as a Destiny player, and he's really cool to play with. So shout out to him. It's in the right direction right now. I'm just working on my Polaris Lance. I just got it. Working on leveling the Catalyst, working on leveling the Graviton Lance Catalyst, I believe. And then outside of the Black Spindle, that's just one of the coolest things yet that has happened. But also got a chance. I just got the invite for the Master Chief Collection program on making the game better. So I'm definitely excited about that. I'm gonna touch that this week. Shout out to Lord Dizzy. I'm gonna check out this Vigor game that he keeps raging about. So I want to see
that game looks good.
Yeah, he's saying like already PUBG should be ashamed of themselves because this game is optimized. And I'm like, all right.
Wait a second. Yo, you understand that the head dev at PUBG explained to fix all of that, they have to scrap everything in that engine, throw the engine in the bushes, and start off from a whole new engine, man.
Can I say something though, real quick though?
Go for it.
At this point, King David, the way I think one of the key reasons that Fortnite is pulling such far ahead of them is because they can do that like quick reaction, but like we want to drop the season every 2 months because they don't have to go through that, plus they made the system. I'm really thinking that, if that's what they need to be able to do that quick reaction, they need to just take that L and do it.
I just redo it. That's what I said too. I completely agree. And shout out to LordCognito for being an evil influence. Because he's like, yo, you didn't get the Octopath, and I'm like, nah, I really can't. Like, I can't justify it right now. Like, I got too much I haven't played.
Can't get into the RPG right now. That's
I can't. So I'm saying I'm trying to stay away from it.
Yo, that game looks so good.
Yeah, he's like a pusher, King. He's like, yo. I was like,
he ride hard for that Switch.
So here's what he do.
A lot of people that you don't think game in a manner that they do.
Yeah.
That guy is on this Switch, and I listen to the chat and I watch you guys all the time. He is a pusher for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Cole. He said he's not digging it. Yo, Octopath, I get you, Cole. And like I said, I'm just trying to stay away from it. I heard too many good things, and I got too much in the backlog to even touch it. So here he come, yo, and I'm like, yo, it's 60, whatever. I can't. And he's like, yo, free demo. So I go search, and I'm like, yo, it ain't no free demo, so I can't do it. So he's like, yo, here's the Nintendo account. You get it directly from the website with the direct link to your Switch. And I'm like, damn, got me. But then I got to download the demo.
To be honest with you, like, I'm not saying that the game looks phenomenal, especially, my background in that genre. But like, I just be looking, I'd be like, yo, is that $60? Like, really? I get it. It looks phenomenal. But it's like at the same time, it's like, it looks like something I'd play on a 3DS. Like,
possible.
No, you know what? I feel what you're saying. That Switch games feel like they should be $40 max.
It's like
that's my problem.
I'm playing like Zelda. You mean to tell me those games are the same price? Like, what's going on?
Nothing, man. But I am going to touch the demo, LordCognito. You have enabled some BS, but I'm going to try to do it because I can't get out of free. Free is free. And he's like, yo, your stats transfer over if you do buy it. I'm like, all right.
Cole's going in. Cole's saying, don't waste your money.
Wow.
No, I can't say that. No, there's been too many people that I respect in this community that have like flaunted the stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna get it eventually.
Everything. The only negative thing I've heard about the game is that when it comes to the paths, like if you think it all circles back to some big grand like thing, it doesn't. They're all 8 individual stories that don't necessarily coincide with each other. So there's no big grand thing that you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not saving the world or anything like that.
Like
I was gonna say one of the main complaints I heard too from a couple of people was that some of the boss fights really drag out, like talking like 20, 30, 40 minutes of just
Oh no.
Oh wow.
Hell no.
But I heard the fighting mechanics are great though.
Then again,
Thank you.
These fights, these people could have been either under level. They might not know how to really play the game.
See,
for sure.
loves boss fights, so I think that perk is interesting.
People sit there, they will be trash at a game. They know, and I'm not saying anyone that made these
let's hit these topics.
I know we got.
I am chomping at the bit.
Yeah, we got to go. That's what's there. So let's get the poll done and into the topics. All right. So last week polls are in, and the people have spoken. With Microsoft, Nintendo execs in games like Fortnite pushing the idea of cross progression, how important is cross progression to you as a gamer to have this feature? The winner at 63% in a fairly convincing 3-way ILP poll is the cross progression is the future of gaming group. Coming in at second place at only 22% was cross progression is an overblown feature group. And coming in at a very close third place with 15% of the vote is y'all just mad Xbox and Switch are losing MPD group. Thanks to all the lords who voted on last week's ILP poll segment. What does Lord Undead think about this?
Cross progression. I did a whole article on cross progression on how it was going to be good for the industry as a whole and everything else. I think it's the new wave. I think it's the future, especially when so many people are now buying multiple consoles. Like there's so many even casuals that now own Xbox and PlayStation, and like for me, cross progression when I eventually get my Switch later next month, it's huge because like I play Warframe on Xbox, for example, and like I love Warframe on Xbox. It's fantastic. And if I was able to carry my progress over to my Switch and be able to play Warframe with my friends on my Xbox and then turn off the game, grab my Switch, hop on the train, and then be able to just pick my game up from there, that would be huge.
Facts. That's what makes Fortnite on Switch so appealing.
Exactly. I think with such a focus on mobile gaming and streaming, like Microsoft says they want to put everything on everything. And the Switch is such a mobile, like on the go device and everything. I think cross progression is almost a no-brainer at this point. And I still stand by the fact that PlayStation will bring back another handheld. And I think if they do, that cross progression's an absolute necessity. And I know they had cross saves for a lot of the games for the Vita, which was good.
Which was very good.
And I think cross progression is just a huge thing. I think crossplay is going to take a lot longer for the industry to adapt to, but I think cross progression is a good first step at making progress in that area anyways.
No doubt. Shout out to DJ Singh in the chat. He said, "You're my favorite now, Lord Undead. Warframe for life." No doubt. So we're going to get into these topics. Like Lord King said, we move a little slow, so we got to pick it up a little bit. So I'm just going to set this thing off, and we're going to talk about Gamescom. And obviously, we know this is arriving. The Lords will not be probably most likely making it this year. We got another obligation we're going to hit, but there's still a lot of things going on. And I kind of want to start with the obviously before we start, which side to start with, I just want to as far as what's going on. So pretty much, obviously Microsoft, they're going to be out there at Gamescom. There was a big controversy about hardware. Microsoft announcing hardware out there, and they got these Twitter streets in a tizzy. And I'll shout out to Tom Warren and The Verge going. It was versus Major Nelson and his personal blog post. So initially, I guess he had a blog post that said Microsoft would be announcing new hardware there. Then I guess they did like a Major did a stealth edit where I guess they realized like they didn't want to confuse people as far as there being physical hardware, but actually like bundled.
Like I don't even really feel like it's fair to say a stealth edit. Like he messed up on the wording of his article and he corrected it. Like in my case, like that happens a lot, doesn't it? Like,
I mean, I don't have too much of a big of an issue with the problem. The only thing I will give Tom Warren is that Microsoft has a history of this. This is not a precedent. They've done this a couple of times where they've had a post or something like that, and then you go back to the post and certain things change, and that's fine. That's fine as long. But his point is just own the mistake and just say like correction or whatever, which I don't have a problem. But Tom Warren did go extra hard, so I do see your point though. He went extra hard.
Then you have like people like GameSpot like making the same article 5 times, just naming it a different article. Like,
he's not wrong. He is not wrong at all.
I'm just telling you what happened in this case. So pretty much that was that, and that was one big thing. And obviously with Xbox, they pretty much say they're gonna have like 25 games, diverse genres. They expected Forza Horizon 4 to be there, Ori Will of the Wisp, State of Decay 2, Daybreak Pack will be there. And then obviously for King, PUBG with the new mode will all be debuted there on what you call it, Gamescom. So that's pretty much for the Xbox presence, and then obviously the Sony stuff. So I want to start with the Sony stuff actually. So what do we think Sony could or would bring to Gamescom?
Nothing.
Anything that you might say?
Nothing.
Lord Undead. Let's start with
look, historically, Sony doesn't really care about Gamescom historically.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
They don't usually unveil anything. I think we're going to see a couple of things. Like, I think we might see that Medieval remake that they announced, but they didn't bring back up at E3.
I think Sony's going to release a YouTube trailer. It's like we'll see it at a Paris Game Show, and that's all.
I'm with Addict on this. Is they're not going to
show much. Bring out Flute Man. Man gonna throw up when he gonna have a drum solo, and then he gonna shoot out the flute. And they're gonna show the same trick.
Man, I choose you.
And then they're gonna tell you to wait for PSX. Get out of there. It's over. Throw that in the bush. Don't PlayStation in the bush.
All right, so that's pretty much what you got Undead as far as what you think they got to show.
I think they're just going to show the same stuff they showed at E3. I think Gamescom, for the most part, Gamescom is pretty redundant. Mm-hmm. I say for the most part because there is some surprises that do come from it, but traditionally speaking, we're going to see the Resident Evil 2 remake. We might see some. You're going to see some more Spider-Man footage. Obviously, I think they'll show something else. Which I don't know why they need to increase my hype level for that game. I don't even understand at this point. You're gonna see some Ghost of Tsushima stuff. You'll maybe see some Last of Us 2 stuff. They're just gonna show pretty much what they showed, maybe some different stuff, but it's rehash from E3, I think.
Okay, no doubt. Fair enough. Lord Addict, you don't think much from the Sony side? You're not confident?
They're not gonna show like nothing. Like, I'm not even being sarcastic. Like, they are legitly not going to show anything.
What did they show last year? Do we know? Nothing. Remember off top, y'all? Anybody remembers off top what they showed last year? I can't remember off top.
I thought it was that zombie game. Wasn't it the zombie game that they show like a thumbnail trailer or something?
Yeah, Days Gone got their first. I think it was like either their first or one of the first
deep dive or something like that. Yeah,
absolutely.
It was,
Mm-hmm. So pretty much, you think they're gonna save it for like PSX and that kind of stuff?
They might drop something on their YouTube channel at the same time.
Remember, they're big on Paris Games Week, so that's their thing.
People need to realize that like they really don't care. Like they are going to, and let's be real here. Like, what could they even announce? Like,
Sony even known for secrets and holding on to stuff. I wouldn't put it past them that they don't do anything.
E3 just ended, and like they didn't really show anything new. So like, maybe I think they might drop, and then they just dropped a Spider-Man story trailer. So I mean, like, if they didn't drop that at Gamescom, which is in like 2 weeks, I doubt they have anything.
Okay, fair enough. Lord Sov, what do you think about Sony at Gamescom? What do you feel they might show, or are you not too excited?
With these guys, it's gonna be, if they show anything, it's just gonna be rehashes of E3 stuff, maybe a little more footage, like Undead said, like maybe a little more Spider-Man stuff, because there's nothing after. I believe Paris Games Week is after the launch of Spider-Man, so this would be the place to give the final push for Spider-Man. Although at this point it's kind of redundant. People are really excited for that game.
I feel like they're showing too much of Spider-Man too. Like,
I stopped watching. I did that with
I'm on that
war. I stopped watching.
Yeah, I'm on that path a little bit too, Addict, and Undead. Like, I kind of feel like, slow down just a little bit. Like, it's a little too much now. But no, I feel where you're going, Sauce. That's pretty much what
Paris Games Week. I think that's where they show out, and then same thing for PSX. They're just holding their cards for that.
Shout out to Santoba in the chat. He said Sony has Paris Games Week and Tokyo Game Show to worry about. They won't even be present at Gamescom, bar a booth. So not much of a presence to thinking. King, do you agree with this?
Yeah, I don't ever see them making that a priority. I see Microsoft making that a priority more than them. I don't see Sony, making it a priority at all.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with the Lords. I don't expect a huge presence. Lord Co, stop a VR flute controller for Ghost of Tsushima. Stop it. So
I could see them dropping a VR game on YouTube.
Yeah. I would say, I think we may see some VR stuff, possibly. You know what I mean? I don't expect nothing huge. Maybe one or two.
I would laugh if they did a conference at Gamescom and just showed nothing but VR stuff.
You're out of control. But
Flute Man.
You're out of controlling this.
VR Flute Man. That I would not even hold it by them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I still think they may have a couple of announcements. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of get their name in the air. But I do agree with the Lords that I don't really think they expect a strong presence. So let's get into the Microsoft aspect of it. Obviously, we know what was going to be shown, and obviously the edit whole situation. But I'm going to set this up. For me, Gamescom still is important to them. Important to me and for them, because at the same time they just came off the goodwill of E3, and I think they need to keep the momentum going. And I don't know if you remember last year, Undead, we actually had this subject, and I kind of went in because if you remember Microsoft's Gamescom last year, oh boy, I wasn't a fan. And
that was the bowl full of controllers, right?
Yeah, and that was the bad technical issues during the PUBG announcement.
And I didn't even.
Oh, I was so upset.
I didn't even mind the bowl full of controllers because that was coming to a different region, so they were and plus people get mad, and I'm part of it. I have stating that they just showed
you was raging together, so I just keep that same energy.
No, it's not that. Look, I can get mad that they show the same stuff they showed at E3, but people keep forgetting these are different regions. People need not everyone from Germany is going to watch E3.
Right. Facts, and that's a good point. That's a good point.
Especially the reason that the controllers was such a present at Gamescom last year is because up until that point, the design thing wasn't in Germany, and they announced that it was coming to Germany, and that's why the controllers was there to show the combinations of stuff. You know
what's so cute after you get perspective after the fact, after you done raged off, is the fact that your tone has changed dramatically to a point that is insane.
I said
that. I remember Lord
last year. You could go last year,
bananas,
and I said the same exact thing then.
No, I'm talking about us in conversation. I don't care what you put for the world. I'm talking about what we had together. And what we had together, you was like, what is wrong with these people? Why would they do the same exact? It's like they had a thumb drive and they put in the drive the flash drive, and they just said the same exact thing that they did. Exactly. That was your whole energy. Your whole energy was the flash drive.
That's my personal opinion, but you could sit there and have a perspective of something that's not you. Okay, hold up.
No, go ahead, go
you
for
guys,
me.
You guys are always coming at me for having a more broadened horizon when I look at shit. When I do look at stuff from a different perspective, you gotta have the same energy.
What I'm telling you. No, see, and this is where you and I are different. The flip flop that you just did, you just did a pancake. You just flipped it over and say, but
no, hold up. What's going on with the Addict? It's the same thing I have. I imagine
I said from the perspective of me.
Yeah, no,
watching
this
E3.
thing is like, Addict seems very similar to me. When you first see something and it aggravates you, you'll fly off the handle about it for the first 24 hours, and then when you take a step back and you look at it, it's a different vibe for it. Like it's
So we got to give it a 24 hour.
Like,
so you one of those people that commit the murder, then be remorseful after, right? Man,
I'll give you a quick example. When I was covering
E3, all the way through.
When I was covering E3, I was sitting there watching the Ubisoft show. I had to sit there, watch that damn dancing panda and everything, and I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there going, "It's fine. It's not worth it because Splinter Cell will be here."
Oh my god! I felt the same way. I was like,
you was willing to suffer through that.
They get everyone on the stage and they're like, "That's the Ubisoft press conference." I have never sworn so much in my life. I threw my headset. I was mad. I was angry. I went on Twitter. I made 6 tweets, and then I sat there and went, "It's not that big of a deal." Then I got mad again. It's just it's a rage cycle. I get where Addict's coming from on that. Like, it made sense why they did what they did, but it's easy to get memed on Twitter.
It's fine.
No, I'm gonna tell you this: if they do the same exact thumbnail crap this year, if they do the same exact trailer and the same exact thumbnail crap this year in a different region, I'm not gonna. I listen. This is the same energy. I'm not gonna stand for it. No, show me something different.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that. You know, that different region stuff. I don't buy that at all. I mean, it's E3. If you're a gamer, I don't care where you are. You're gonna find a way to watch it.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you're doing that, you can't assume that everyone in that region watched E3.
That's true. Right, but you're not gonna regurgitate the whole thing.
Right. Put a little extra to it. Yeah, jazz it up, fix it up. They didn't even change the order. Yo, it was the same exact thing, and I said, you just wasted time of my life that I won't get back because I did this already.
I watched the highlight. I didn't even watch it.
King, I'm with you. King, I'm with you because at the end of the day, I'm with you. At the end of the day, yes, you're right. From a perspective,
I'm just gonna go back to the Addict world.
No, we like to do Addict.
No, I'm going back to Addict world. Because apparently, I tried
out. New Addict. You found in a fucking place. I don't like that Addict.
I tried to look at it from a different perspective.
I love it. No, keep it new Addict. I love that. I love it.
No, throw that Addict in the bushes. Throw that Addict in the bushes. Let's pull out Gaming Addict back out of the bushes. Let's get Addict's World back up in the mix. I'm about that one.
Man, look,
I don't like Super Saiyan.
Microsoft should have showed everything the same. The Switch don't sell nothing in digital.
God no.
Yeah, he's back. He's back.
All I would say, sorry,
I don't want his trash Addict back.
Yeah, I don't want his trash. Let's move on, Addict. I don't want that Addict.
I love that Addict.
You say that now. You say that now.
I love that Addict.
All I'm gonna say is I agree with King's stat. Yes, I mean Addict's making a great point. Yeah, you gotta understand that some people are in those regions that haven't seen it. All I'm saying is that for the most part, it's a huge event, and just to even add something additional, right?
There was no reason why they had the same trailers. I was really talking about, the controllers and stuff because that feature wasn't in that region till then.
Yeah.
But
showing the exact same
that's when they lost me. Yeah,
I wouldn't mind the same exact trailers if they added something afterwards. Okay, this is the E3 trailer. We have something more.
I don't even want to see anything saying. Like, if you go to any kind of region, like, first off, why are you showing that region the same thing you show the Americans? Like, it makes no sense. Like, technically, we we have different cultures. We probably like different stuff. Why you show them the same thing? You show them in
exactly. Now I'm with you. So that's pretty much it. And the last thing, obviously, we know, with the whole, thing. I want to get solid perspective out of here. Like the whole Tom Warren versus Larry Herb stuff, editorial etiquette kind of thing. Solve, I didn't get your opinion on that. Like, what did you feel about that whole situation? You think Tom Warren went in too hard?
I just think not necessarily they went in too hard, but it's something that needs to be addressed. And we've spoken about this fantastical headlines just to get clicks and things like that. We've definitely seen it on the YouTube side where you'll see a title for something and you'll click in there and then it has nothing to do with what was specifically stated in the title of the video.
Facts.
And you know, at
Undead
this
just
point,
talked about this on Gaming Perspective yesterday.
right?
By the way,
and at this point, you know, Microsoft should not be doing this, especially Microsoft. If they're the ones that have been accused of flip flopping and you know and funny language, you know, when it comes to like what is it, launch exclusive or whatever the heck, right? Be as clear and concise as possible. If you know full well you're not launching actual gaming hardware. Say exactly what you say. You know, say peripheral. Say whatever. Like,
they are launching gaming hardware when it's like a custom hardware system. If it's a Gears of War system, or you know, because we don't have that new Xbox One X system except for the launch exclusive system. We don't have that new system. PlayStation has a hardware launch with the Spider-Man. So you have to understand it's a different SKU.
Well, they said
so it is a different hardware.
But you know what you're generating when you write that a certain way, you know, and that's the thing. It could have been totally purposeful.
It's clickbait. But of course, if we're talking about it, so that was the whole agenda. Get them talking about hardware. They're launching hardware. So Phil just talked about hardware. Are they coming out earlier than the PlayStation? You know, it's so. Yeah,
Kratos went.
If that was
what Kratos went in.
Oh, when that happened, Kratos went bonkers, and he started. People just started.
If that was
going at him,
if that was like a legit, like on purpose, like I don't even understand what they thought they were going to get from that. Like, what
views and
person? What person that actually keeps up with this stuff? Let's be real here. Does anyone in this panel think they're going to announce this Scarlett at Gamescom?
No, I mean anybody, and I agree with Santo. Any hardcore gamer with common sense knows that was not a Scarlett.
Not the layman though,
but not the layman, and that's where I got to. And I do think there is a journalistic responsibility that has to be kept. And the only thing I do agree with Warren is that, you know, this is not the first time though, right? Microsoft has done this before, and you're like, yo, Microsoft said such and such, and then you send your man the article. You're like, wait a minute, hold on, it was right here. Now I don't see it no more. You know, when it says such and such. So I think he went hard, but at the same time, you know, there is a level of journalistic integrity, and this is your base. You have to be very concise. You got to be very clear because people will run with it. Now, to your point, you know, do you think it was clickbait? Do you think it was maybe like this is some grand marketing plan to get people talking so they tune in to Gamescom to see if Microsoft's really going to announce?
I mean, how quick was it corrected?
Like, very quickly.
That's the thing. It was roughly about 20 minutes. They had to correct it.
Yes.
Oh, 20 minutes
for it to.
Oh, come on, that's good.
That's a lot of clicks. 20 minutes.
But listen, y'all talking about something I really don't care about. I know this is an agenda against Larry Herb. I've noticed this, and I see it. Against the white gloves. Yeah, it's an agenda against this man. They feel like he's a dinosaur and they want to move him out. So any type of thing that they can attach to him that's in a negative fashion, they're trying to push him in a get him out of here type of thing. Let's get Microsoft younger or whatever. Larry Herb is our uncle. Larry Herb does his job to perfection. And I like Larry Herb stuff. Now, I don't know what these people have against him. He's a nice face of the franchise. You have other faces of the franchise for PlayStation. Remember that fake Larry Herb that they had over there for the commercials? God. He's gone, right? They threw him in the bushes. Larry is here to stay, and until Larry wants to step away, leave Larry alone.
Boss said Larry needs to be put out to pasture. I've heard this.
And that's the real thing. That's a real thing.
Hashtag not my Uncle Larry. Yo, they going in.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing right there. And the chat is telling you exactly what the consensus is, and I've seen it, and I'm like, wow. And that's the only thing I can say is wow. Larry held down the fort through the good and the bad. Let Larry reap his rewards when Xbox launches the next system, and then maybe he can go out the pasture. But leave Larry alone. Let Larry walk off on Larry terms.
I don't have an issue with Larry. My thing is with this in particular. If the goal was to get people talking about it, right? It's attached to them. If the goal was to get people to talk about it, they did that, but for such a short period of time, like for it to then be like, retcon, the whole thing retcon, that just, why don't you announce it closer to Gamescom so that it has a bigger impact then? So that people really can be like, well, what are they announcing? Like, oh my God, what are they announcing?
Is going in. There's like Larry needs to go. Larry Heard
look at
with an S. Yo, racing Larry Heard. Larry Heard. Yo, Lord Undead.
Awesome. I love it. I love it.
We talk the subjects in here. What do you feel about Major Nelson? Like, in general, where your stance on this?
I have no stance on the man. I don't care if he stays, if he goes to Sony. I don't care.
Whoa,
Lord Undead, your opinion on Major Nelson.
Oh, Major Nelson. I don't know. I feel like when you watch Inside Xbox, I feel like Larry's retirement time is coming.
Oh, wow.
I feel you watch Inside Xbox. I feel like he'll eventually step away, and you'll see Graham Boyd probably step into his
bongos.
And they've got a really talented group of younger guys. Like just looking, if you watch Inside Xbox, there's a lot of talented people involved in that show, and there'd be a lot of people that would be willing to do the step up.
I hate that show.
And Larry's been in the industry for a long, long time, and I love the fact that he absolutely drums up the glove meme. I love that he lives for that.
Larry is the clean. He's the pristine. Larry is the. You can't have a new system launch without the gloves going around. Come on, man. Larry is the magic man, baby. Like Larry is clean.
Larry is the Mr. Rogers of Xbox.
Yo, you know what? And listen, and that I wouldn't deny that assessment right there. Mr. Rogers is the only childhood guy that has not been besmirched. He has not been drugged down. I love Larry.
Blizzard says hashtag save Larry. All right, we're seeing some Larry love a little bit. I was getting worried.
Yeah, come on, man. It's like, listen, I don't like that Inside Xbox stuff. I don't like it. It's canned stuff. Larry's not good for that. Let's remove Larry off of that. But when Larry giving you games of the month, and when you're looking at what's coming out for games of the month, and he's click and go, and Larry's reading off that prompter, Larry is the best in the business of making that part happen. Yes, he's clean, man. I love Larry's professionalism.
I think what it is, I guess sometimes you have to disconnect. But at
the end of the day,
they don't have an off the top though. His freestyle is garbage.
When it comes to stuff like this, that's debatable if it was on accident or not, but when it comes to like live camera, how many interviews does this man have a year? When's the last time he did a PR nightmare?
No doubt.
Like never. Like I can't even. Like when's the last time he said something that people latch on to and misinterpret because he knows how to handle questions, and if it's not right, he'll just be like, I don't even want to touch that. Like we got.
Thank you.
I guess it's hashtag save Larry then.
Thank you.
Let's see. But, that's all I got. If anything else on Gamescom, so we can move on.
I just laugh how it turned into a Larry.
Yeah, it just turned into Larry out of nowhere. This is kind of hilarious. I mean,
we go all over the place, baby. We all over.
All I was gonna say is I'm just looking forward to the announcement from my crew, THQ Nordic. Those are my peoples, and I heard Cyberpunk 2077 is gonna make an appearance, so I'm dying to see that. But that's all I got. So LordSov, Crackdown back again in the news. What's going on, man?
Yeah. So speaking about Gamescom and things we may or may not see at Gamescom. So Eurogamer published an article last week talking about the development of Crackdown and basically the tough time that it's had from its inception all the way to its different showings and the expectations people had for the game, the times the game changed hands in terms of development, the fact that the game hasn't had strong leadership in terms and unity of vision, and what that means for the game that we'll be getting in February. And the tone that I got from the article leads me to believe that they have some sort of insider knowledge indicating that game is still not ready to go. And that's what scares me a little bit about the game. Listen, it's a game. It's not, the end all be all. But for a game to have this much issue all the way through its development, not get canceled, right? And to come out and be less than good, it's going to be a big disappointment for people who love. I love Crackdown. I think Crackdown is great. After playing the original Crackdown on back compatibility, I went out and definitely said I don't want to see that game again. I need to see that.
That's what me and King saw.
That's what we saw.
I was there with you guys. I saw it.
You was there. My bad.
I was there. I don't want that either. And there's something specific in the article that Phil Spencer said that he said, listen, this last delay came from me playing the game. Two things, right? It came from two things. Me realizing that the release window that we had for it now would be insane, right? It's absolutely insane to release it in the fall of this year. It
we called it the blast zone.
Exactly. It is
a blast zone. The blast zone.
Now, beyond that, that's a valid reason. Beyond that, he said, I played the game and I love Crackdown and it didn't feel right.
He was head of development on the original, or was it the second Crackdown? Wasn't he overseeing Microsoft games at that part?
He may
on the original Crackdown.
Timeline
that's what he said in the video.
Okay.
He said that in the video that he was ahead, and that was part of one of his babies.
That's what bothers me about that last statement is that a year out from launch, less than a year out from launch, you're saying the game doesn't feel right. So what I gotta ask you guys is, what game do you think we're getting in February?
I don't know.
Let's get Undead on this.
The thing is with Crackdown 3 is like I've covered Crackdown 3 exclusively on the website, all the bumps and all the things that issues that have gone on with it. And there was 3 companies working on Crackdown 3 originally. There's Sumo Digital, there's the one that escapes me right now, and then there was the Cloud Engine, which was handling all the multiplayer destruction. Well, the other one developer dropped out last year. Cloud Engine just the head guy, whose name was
head guy is Dave Jones. Dave Jones on Cloud.
Yeah, Dave Jones. He quit, and he is now part of Epic Games, and he's part of the Fortnite movement now. And his company went with him. So Cloud Engine's now part of not part of Fortnite. It's now part of Epic Games. So that Epic Games is using that company to their full potential now. So the only people that are still working on Crackdown 3 is Sumo Digital, which they do a fantastic job. They have some great games in their catalog, but I don't know if they've got the scope to deliver on the promises that have been sent with this game.
And Lord Undead, I heard that shout out to Jez Gordon, that's my dude, Xbox 2. Yeah, through Jez, I heard that the single player is still being worked on. Currently right now.
As far as it sits, everything is still being worked on. As for from what I know, and Jez would have better sources than I would in that regard. But as far as people are saying that this game is still far off, they need another delay, but they can afford to delay this game again. It's a running.
Let me give a shout out. Let me give a shout out to Xbox 448. We were talking about this yesterday, and I got to give a lot of credit to his insight on certain things. But I went back to the original source of the game when they showed the game, and they showed the game in its form when it was doing the destructibility. Remember when they shot down that building and the building fell and the slow motion and everything was breaking around it? All right. Now, look at the graphics in that game, right? And I don't know what system they were using, but it made me feel like Trip Hawkins was back, and Trip Hawkins was
the finesse
live in the flesh. The captain of the finesse team, Trip Hawkins, was actually. Listen, I've never been finessed in a fashion of Trip Hawkins. Trip Hawkins was a master showman. He was a magician live in the flesh. He showed you things that really wasn't there. He lied in your face with a smile and got it across to get those guys to sell and buy.
He loved Trip. He loved Trip.
Listen, I know he does. And I got no problem with that. But that man is the ultimate. If you want to get something sold, you bring in Trip. Trip is going to get it sold no matter what, because what you see is not what you get, but what you get is not what you see. And I think they did that, and they thought they can reach that goal. I saw that original video again yesterday. And after seeing what we got now, the systems and the games that we're playing, nothing looks like that game that we got now. And I don't think until we get the next system, it would look like that.
Let me read you a little piece. Let me read a quick little piece from the article. It says, Jones' eye-catching demo that showed the impressive destruction tech in a multiplayer Crackdown-themed environment, it turns out, was only ever about showing off the potential of the cloud. It was never intended to represent gameplay gamers might actually get to experience.
Yeah, that's what has me
And
worried.
that's the problem. That's the problem. We're married to that.
Killzone 2 all over again.
Well, that's the thing, though. Is like when people don't understand what Jones is like. His whole purpose wasn't to make Crackdown 3 the most amazing thing ever. He was trying to sell his cloud engine software, and he was in Crackdown 3 to sell his cloud engine software and how well it runs and everything else. And Crackdown 3 demoing well would have done really, really well for him.
Right.
And everyone went full in on that company after that first show.
Absolutely. Now my question you Undead is, do you think that is a finesse? Do you feel misled after now the layers are coming off due to this Eurogamer article? That's all.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I never had an interest in Crackdown from 1, 2, and 3. Like there's no interest there. However, on the technological standpoint that they were trying to achieve with 3, it picked my interest because
thank you. I mean, you're the same. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, because like the what this could bring to other games if this was to be pulled off would be amazing. Dude, let me jump in. You got me excited. Dude, like I'm in the same position as you, Undead. I am not a Crackdown guy from the very beginning. Even I think I only bought the first one. Wasn't it a pack-in with the Halo 3?
Yep. And that's the only reason why you brought it.
Yep. I did not care about that game. It did nothing for me. No disrespect to the people who love it. It's just not my cup of tea. Right? I'm like, I'm getting that Halo early, so I guess I got to play this game. So, with the whole thing is, I agree with Lord Undead completely. When the cloud destruction part was announced and debuted, from a technical standpoint, because I'm a techie, that excited me. I'm like, okay, so finally we can see some real world implementation of quote unquote the power of the cloud. Right?
Look. The first thing my brother thought when he saw that, I know King David's gonna get a kick out of this. He says, like, we are one step closer to having an open world Hulk game.
That would be
total
destruction of a city running loose with the Hulk. And it just gave. Remember, they were like, "Yo, the assets are all being done in the cloud," and you know what I'm saying. We
20 times the computational
power. Yo, you know what? That's set Microsoft up for a huge fall. Yes. But that's gonna lead into my topic, and I'm gonna do that later. But I understand what that did for Microsoft at the time and for the sale of that software. Yes, of course, he Trip Hawkins the hell out of it. He did. All right, he did. And maybe it doesn't come out this generation that software works in the capacity or the form that he wants it to, unless you have optimal a CPU power to do that across the board through the cloud and let those computations come down. Right? Okay. Maybe it doesn't happen then, but maybe it happens in the future. But that man sold his software, and he did it in a very spectacular fashion that he fooled millions.
And then he dipped off, and now he's with Epic.
So he got a bag. He got his bag, and he's out.
And you know the best part is his official job title at Epic has nothing to do with cloud engineering. No. He is their esports director. Like Jones.
To be fair to him, though, it wasn't him finessing that and just moving on. This is part of the problem that the game has had through its entire development, that it's changed hands a number of times.
That is correct.
So it isn't necessarily his fault, because he said once the Sumo people came on and became the primary developer, like his involvement in the game was only advisory. So his involvement just continued to diminish, not necessarily because he chose it that way.
Yeah.
So, it's just one of those things. This is another thing that's interesting to me. So they recently talked about, getting the game to the finish line and what that means, right? So they put Ken Lobb in charge of making sure that the team maintains focus. Like, how did you not have this type of person in charge from the very beginning, making sure there's focus and you're hitting goals that are hittable, right? And it just seems like everything from like in inception of the concept, how they wanted to expand on the concept to its execution, there was just nobody was on the same page. Is what it feels
Sovereign,
like.
can we agree that Crackdown is really the B team?
Oh, yes.
Well, so
right?
yeah,
No,
people are
it's the
concerned.
B team.
People are concerned with
It-
Sumo Digital handling a title like this.
Right. No, I'm talking about when I say it's the B team. We all know Microsoft has Big Mac, fries, and shake, right? So that is the A team, right? We can agree to that part, right? That Halo, Forza, and Gears is the A team. Crackdown is part of the B team. Fable, Crackdown, and whatever the hell else. I don't know.
My concern is them not wanting to make it more than what it is already.
But see, I disagree with that part, so only because the only thing that gives me a little hope is when Phil himself plays it and is like, "This is not a go."
I think it got out of. I think it got out of control.
Yeah.
When the expectations of the B teams, when I say B team, I'm not talking about the development team. I'm talking about the how they view it. This got a budget of this, and let it be that. I think it got out of control. Soon as Scalebound got canceled and expectations of this game, right. So they said, "Damn, even if we wanted to cancel this game, we can't.
We can't. Not with the climate right now." And let me just get this one point off, Ken, because you're making fantastic points. The thing too is just like, again, when I see the comments from Phil, and like I said, he said, he's like, "This is not a goal. Let's put some more time in." And now this Eurogamer comes to, and let's be honest, like, Phil really has been transparent with this whole situation. Like, usually when bad information to try to get sources, like Eurogamer is getting the sources. So clearly he cares about this game enough to try to get this out there. The only concern I have is which the elephant in the room is kind of the Titanfall 2 syndrome. Look at that release date also. You know what I'm saying?
You're still putting it in a bad situation where it's not.
They need to attach it. They need to do what they did with the other one, with putting like a Halo or some type of demo attached to this game. And nowadays, you really can't do that strategy because most of the games is being purchased digitally, and most of the games, all the games now, is going to Game Pass. So that strategy is a dinosaur now, is a relic. It can't be used. So the way that they was shoehorning this Trojan horse game to you before, that can't be done anymore. So how can we package this game to get it to us? And I think Game Pass is the perfect way to Trojan horse that game to you.
Probably so. It's because basically, it's hella high water, and they're figuring, hey, Game Pass, maybe we'll give them games. We didn't get added.
And this is real quick. And this is the thing, though. So do you guys think if Phil touches that game again in January and he says no, it's not ready, do you think he moves it?
This is what I say. And I got to jump on this because this is going to lead into somewhat of the poll question. But the thing is, I say, yo, if it's still what it is, we'll just save that to Scarlett. Let's move this to Scarlett. Like, it's clearly not ready. It's clearly still having issues. If the computational power is not there, or just change direction. We've seen this with titles like Rise. Remember, Rise was like a Connect game, if I remember, when it first announced. There's nothing. Look, I understand from an egotistical standpoint and from a perception standpoint, right? It doesn't look the greatest. You delay it again. But what's the alternative? You put this thing out. It's a 60-something Metacritic. You know what I mean? And you're gonna get killed again. And another Microsoft first party that didn't do it. You know, so that my thing is just it's okay. I mean, unless financially it's really gonna kill them. You know what I'm saying? I say Xbox Scarlett. Go ahead, Attic. I hear you in the back.
I think you would probably have to rebuild the entire game for
rebuild. Listen.
Do it.
If this game isn't ready by February, I'm sorry, they just need to cancel it.
Like, let me get Undead on this. That last part. I'm dying to hear his perspective on that.
Well, see, with Crackdown 3, like I'm still one of those people that think they should have kept time on Scalebound and they should have canceled Crackdown back then. Because honestly, like, you can't take 3 different studios and put them all together and then just hope that a good game is going to emerge from it. And that's what they tried to do with this. They didn't try to coordinate. They didn't have someone that was running the show of all these 3 studios. They had 3 different studio heads, with Jones doing like a kind of overseeing this is kind of what's going on. They kind of had a couple of guys in observation roles, but you didn't have someone that was like telling Cloud Engine, this is what I need you guys doing. They didn't have somebody sitting there going, this is what I need Sumo Digital doing.
You know what's sad? The thorns that's in Phil Spencer's sides he didn't even do.
Yeah, he didn't create these. Yeah, he didn't create these problems. I get that. I guess I had a question for Undead in reference to like I hear where you're going. It's just like, man, like, don't you think it does more damage if it just releases in the state it is? It is just.
I
really
think it's
bad.
just best off if it's not done by February.
Boss
Just cancel
moves
it.
is
No, boss moves
going
going in.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to ignore
He
him.
said
He
his
makes me
Bill
laugh.
need to throw Crackdown and Larry Herb out the pasture together.
I guess
boss
Attic-
moves you
the
on
boss
fire.
moves, that's my dude. But what I'm saying, Attic and Undead, is like, I'm just as a gamer, I'm just scared. Like, this thing bombs, we're never gonna get another Crackdown game.
Yeah,
Well,
to be
I
honest with you,
don't know that we get another.
as of right now, I don't think we're going to get one either. Anyway, like
Yeah,
we're
you're
getting
preaching
to
to
the
the choir
point.
on that.
We're getting to the
Yeah.
point. I don't think Scalebound was salvageable. Like I think that was more of like an internal thing.
Yeah, internal thing with
the
Platinum.
studios.
Yeah.
But I think Crackdown.
Mhm.
I think that communication was lost with what they were promising, and they know that if they didn't get something even remotely, I think they're just trying to figure out how to sell this game to people now.
Yeah.
Because
Well, Game Pass is the perfect way. I gotta admit that, though. I gotta admit that Game
Trojan
Pass.
horse.
Yeah, throw it in there. Try to create some engagement. And I will say this: I am looking forward to the 4-player co-op. Hopefully, if it's still in the game.
and to
Yeah.
be 100 with you, man, like
Mhm.
I'm getting kind of tired of talking about Crackdown.
No, listen, I feel you. And I didn't
nice.
want to, but this article that sauce off brought to my attention is just too juicy. We had to talk about.
Oh
it.
no, I get that, but like it's just like it's not even our fault. It's not no one's fault for picking the top. It's like Microsoft put this game in such a bad position to where it has to be talked about every couple months because the thing keeps getting delayed.
Yeah,
Well, my bigger question is, why did Microsoft decide that Crackdown, a franchise that was not one of their big heavy hitters, had to be a heavy hitter this gen? Why Crackdown 3 had to be the
Because they
thing?
had no games.
They had no games.
They can make
They
what
had
it was.
no games. They didn't have anything.
Like,
So
if Crackdown came out and it did what the multiplayer is supposed to do, I don't think this game would have an issue. But I think that's the issue. They can't get the multiplayer done.
And
I
the
want
fact
you
of
to
the
go
drought,
back
the
and
drought
look
of
at that
2017.
video.
And I think if there's
Go back and look at that video.
there's any
Go
sort
back
of
and
game-
look back at that original video.
Yeah, no, it looks ridiculous. And this, to Undead's point, I think you're gonna wager new tech on anything that's unproven, you're gonna wager on like King said, a B team, like a B team. If they had put out a Halo video utilizing this stuff, and it didn't come to pass in the Halo game, the pushback would be much more than for Crackdown.
And plus, I get that, but at the end of the day, Microsoft be taking so many L's. Like
This topic has died. This topic has died and it's in the bushes.
Let's move on. So unless you got anything else to finish off your topic.
No, man, that's it. I want a decent Crackdown game. I don't know that we get
You are not the only one. It has got to the point where everybody eyeballs is on this and they gotta have good moves.
Yeah, it's a shame. So, Lord Addict, you got a good one, man. Scarlett talk. Let's get to it.
I just want to briefly go over this because I don't want to go too much over, but with the Scarlett, whatever it's going to be called, what do you think is required at launch for this system to be successful?
I want to jump in, but we got to guess. Go ahead. Oh, I'm ready. Good, Undead. What you got?
To be successful, well, the thing is
out the gate, like not
out the gate, like hit the ground running. Well, we know what sells consoles.
That's realistic.
Yeah, we know what sells consoles at the gate. Price point. Because let's face it, it would have been a whole different start at the gate if we hadn't had the forced Kinect bundle with Xbox One. If Xbox One didn't launch with the Kinect and was the same price as the PS4, let's face it, Sony's launch lineup was
not as good as the Xbox.
Was not great. Microsoft's wasn't amazing, but they at least had a launch lineup. And like, if the thing is what you're seeing is you see all these studios gearing up, you see Sony's gearing up stuff, you see Microsoft's gearing up stuff. I think we're going to see one of the best console launches for software and hardware. I think there's going to be games that I 100% believe that the new Halo game will be the launch title.
Damn, you stealing my points on that. Damn you.
Because like 100%, you want to sell people an Xbox. You want to make them forget about everything that went wrong with Xbox One.
You lay the gauntlet down.
Give them
put that
Xbox.
down.
Give them Halo.
Facts.
And people will, and especially like Halo, new engine, reworked from the ground up. You're gonna hit every person that ever owned an original Xbox, an Xbox 360. And you put a nice price point on that, plus the services that Microsoft has been building on the Xbox One. That's all going to add up for a very, very interesting start. That's if they keep that, and that's the key thing is affordability. And I know it seems like a stupid thing to fight about now because we're so far into the generation. Everything's almost pretty much the same price except for like the Pro and the X are like $100 difference. That's like the only wiggle room we've got price wise at the game. But when you launch off a console, we saw it with the PS3. It was like $300 more expensive than the 360. Nobody wanted the PS3, fat boy. But that's the thing is like price point and software are huge pushes, and that's why if you look at the numbers of the Xbox One and the PS4 right out the gate, they weren't fantastic, and that was because because a lot of the games were still available on PS3 and Xbox 360 for a while, and the launch games were like they weren't fantastic. So they're looking to give you a reason to buy it day one because Microsoft realizes that they can't catch up this generation. They got to start focusing on next generation.
Facts. Yo, let me jump in, and that got me hyped. Stole my price point thing, but it's all good. Great minds think alike. Yo, straight out the gate, man. They have to have, first of all, Addy, I love this topic. Straight out the gate, strong launch lineup. You got to follow like that Switch and that Dreamcast script. You got to have 8 to 10, you know what I mean? And Halo Infinite got to be part of it. I mean, it doesn't have to be, obviously, if they have another big game that's good, fine. But if any possibility that Halo Infinite is ready, I'm with Lord Undead. You have to throw that in launch. You put the gauntlet down. This is our baby. This is the new engine. This is what you can do. So that's one. Two, this is a king move. You got to demonstrate power. You got to showcase why I need to even jump to this, right? Because at the end of the day, as much as we love the X, we can't say outside of the multiplats, right? Because the multiplats you'll see, Wolfenstein, oh my God, 4K 60, this one, oh my God. But for the first party, we haven't really seen that game. And still, I'm not disrespecting Sea of Thieves because the water looks fantastic game, HDR, but you need that graphical showcase game because I look at Sea of Thieves as more of a cartoony art style. You know what I'm saying? You need that. Yeah,
you need that God of War. You need that Horizon Zero Dawn.
You need
those
that
games that show off their hardware.
Like when you see this, like I've never seen that before. You need those kind of moments to say, okay, this is why you're gonna get that 400 or that 500, whatever it is, right? And then the third thing, which I'm pretty confident they're gonna do, is the forward compatibility. You got to make sure, yo, you good. If you have your, everything's coming. You know what I mean? That's the great thing. Shout out to the Great Wall, my man, Lord Bill Stillwell and the team. Obviously we had him here on ILP roundtable. You got to reassure that games, that their library's coming with them. You still keep, the Xbox 360 stuff pumping. So this way, gamers know if you're with Xbox, your ecosystem come with you, right? That's what you need. You got it. So it's those three things. And to me, if they do that, they've got a great shot. You know what I'm saying? And obviously they got to launch either before or at the same time as the PS5. That's my last game. So I know if I took up a lot of points, but I was hyped. Lord, continue.
For me, a big thing is the natural forward progression of the OS. I don't want to start a new console generation with a brand new OS telling me that I have to wait a year to get features that I've already been using for the past 5 years.
Thank you for saying. Don't do the Destiny 2 where you retract features that was already
there.
That was successful. Don't do the Destiny 2 launch. Preach, Saul. Let's go.
No, you need to move. Listen, you need to continue to improve the OS that you have. I know people have issues with it being slow, being clunky, whatever. Keep improving it. Just keep improving it. Don't start from scratch and tell me that I have to wait forever to get my Dolby Vision or to get my Dolby Atmos or whatever the heck you would have to add to whatever new OS you would do. And then I think big for them this year, this next generation is maybe some sort of integration with Xbox Live and Game Pass. Give me one package. Make it even more enticing for people to jump in.
That's a good point, man. I'm digging this, Lord King. What you need?
Okay, I think everybody is gonna be a little disappointed with what I think Microsoft needs to do going forward, and what's gonna actually happen. All right, so it's been announced that it's 3 different SKUs, right? All right, so in these 3 different SKUs, we don't know exactly what is comprised of these 3 different SKUs. I think it's a mouse and keyboard might come with one. I think it's a Elite controller might come with another different type of hard drive, and I think it's going to be like a base. I think it's going to be like a base model. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you, but they have said 3 different SKUs, right? All right, so price point is definitely key. That $100, you know, the guys that wanted to make the jump, the loud roar against the Kinect got too feverish, and the cheap pockets went with the cheaper PlayStation.
Why gotta be the cheap?
And no, because that's a fact. When you're walking in the store and you say, for this $100, I can either get a piece of hardware I really don't care about, as far as the Kinect, or I can buy games. That hardware is going to lose out if they don't care about it. So it's like forced hardware. So we no longer have to worry about that. People are complaining about the X price being over the Pro now, not taking into account that when you put on your X and you play all these older games, it hypes those games up, but you can't see that unless you have that to understand. Now, I think in that ecosystem that they're going to have, that everybody keeps touting, that, oh, okay, you be able to bring all these games across. The same complaint that I had last week, where I feel Sony has a leg up. This is the argument on Sony's side, is when they cut off that generation, they come in with games that look great, utilizing that hardware,
so
and
what
not
you're
worrying
implying,
about the old pack.
So what you're implying,
what I'm implying is that
compatibility is a detriment because you don't get the full power of the system.
It's a double-edged sword. It's a blessing and a curse. Right? Now, this is where the cloud comes in. And I think this is the part where the cloud actually is going to help. I think Scarlett won't necessarily need the power of the cloud. Right? I think Scarlett is going to be robust enough that it can actually force those games to run native 4K. Because remember, all these games have scalability. Right. So when you put these games on, if they were checkerboard up, I believe in Scarlett, they're going to be running at actual 4K. Shout out to Xbox. We talked about this yesterday. We had a great conversation. There's going to actually be 4K native and 60 frames, hopefully. Or if it's 1080p, it's definitely going to be 60 frames. I think it's going to push those games forward to get to that level, right? And then the cloud is going to be used for older Xboxes because remember, they don't want to exclude anyone. They're gonna be saying stuff like, "Oh, well, if you have an Xbox, these games are still playable on your system with the use of this." And I believe that package comes in. That's how they're gonna sell you on that package that Sovereign is talking about: Game Pass, Xbox Live with the power of the cloud. You know, and that can get across that way. I don't think going forward, nothing is going to be more important than price point, and I definitely do not believe Halo is going to be a launch title at all.
Do you think it's not ready? Okay.
No, I don't think so. But I believe they will definitely have something in the form of a Fable. I believe they noticed how Zelda pushed that genre on the Switch. Zelda sold Switches, and Zelda continues to sell Switches. So if they can get a Fable, but in the vein of a Zelda,
I don't think Fable will be any close to being ready.
Yeah, but my thing, no disrespect to Fable, do you think it has that iconic name, like where people are gonna rush out to buy a system? That's the only reason why I said Halo. Like,
no.
Yeah, right. No, so that's why
I don't believe it holds that cachet, but I believe that that open world adventure game that you can show something graphical that you was talking about. I see what you're going. That's that graphical showcase, that newness of it. See, Halo is still Halo, but it's still Halo. You understand? And it's going to sell. And I know they want to hit the mark on that game specifically. But the newness of Fable, because we were waiting for Fable and it got canceled, or something happened to it, and with Lionhead Studio, and these people that are hungering for that game, like Attic and myself and everybody else, that wants that game, when they see it, I believe it's going to sell. But I honestly believe, like Undead said, price point more than anything is going to dictate victory or loss in the next generation.
Attic, finish out your topic.
I feel like, I don't know, like part of me wants Microsoft to do good next gen, but the direction they're going, where they're like pretty much like 2 generations at a time, I think that's going to be a huge problem. Like people are talking about like the X becoming the base model.
Right. So like you're not a fan of this direction of iterative consoles.
Because at the end of the day, if you make the X the base model, you're going to have Sony making PS5 exclusives that look twice as good as your game, that do way more different things with your game, and you're still making games for 2 different consoles.
I hear where you're going. My question is this, though. Do we really, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is Sony. Do we really think Sony is not going to do forward compatibility like Undead?
They haven't showed that they will.
I think they can't afford not to, but what do you think, Undead?
Well, I was going to say, everyone's seen the patents last year, Sony looking into doing forward compatibility from the PS4. Because let's face it, we talked about this on the Gaming Perspective last night. We're no longer selling consoles. We're selling pre-made PCs. These aren't, they're not doing independent hardware anymore.
I don't think Sony.
Shout out to Sting and them, like no more power. The days of the power PC,
I think
custom stuff is kind of over.
I don't think Sony's changing that. I think they're going to continue doing generations.
They're going to do generations, but you will be able to take if they don't. If they sit there and they tell people, like, if they release Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima on PS4 and then try to sell remasters for PS5.
But they have the hubris to do it. I do think that they got the hubris to do it.
Undead, and I want you to answer this one question. Have they done it in the past, and has it been successful for them?
It's been mad successful. They've made mad money. Like, people always say, if something's not broke, don't fix it. Sony literally sold remaster after remaster this whole generation. Like, I get that. Like, and I've said multiple times, like, if they don't do backwards compatibility, they're full of themselves. But we're at a situation where you've seen multiple executives saying that we look at in the future, we don't look in the past.
Exactly.
Well,
they have not.
I'll say this right now. These consoles are basically PCs. I can go back and play games from the 90s on my PC, no problem. They run easily. Backwards and forwards, bringing stuff from the past. The only reason that 360 and OG Xbox games are a pain is because they ran on separate hardware. We're now running on computers, essentially. To bring your Xbox One games to Scarlett, that'll be a walk in the park. Every game with you.
That's Todd's point. That's always been my point. The scalability of these games make it
regardless with the capabilities and the compatibilities to going to the PS5 to the PS4, is Sony gonna want to give you the option not to rebuy the same shit so they can sell it to you again, or are they gonna take that L, not do it? Dude, let's be real here. If they didn't do that, they could bring back Last of Us at 60 frames. They can bring back Uncharted 4 at 60 frames. They can bring back Last of Us 2 at 60 frames. Like
Undead. I hear Attic and King are making a good point in this sense because, listen, I'm with you. I think
they don't have both feet in this backwards compatibility.
But I will say, like, we have to look at Nintendo. We got to bring them up, right? And all of us at least me and Saul were screaming virtual console.
I was about to say
virtual console. I know, virtual console. And they found the mess with these mini systems. And as to now, we still have not gotten any of these classic games. All they are being brought on to, the NES Mini, Super NES Mini.
They're going to come out in the Mini. They want you to buy that Mini
Tremendous revenue in that. So does that factor into your decision process as well? Or are you still like, nope, they have to bring it forward?
Sony's going to find with PS4 versus PS5 is that there's been a switch in how people buy video games. I know there's still a lot of people that buy physical games. That's fine. Right. A lot of people have gone heavy digital this generation. And we talked about this yesterday. And the big thing is that if you have 450 digital games on your PS4, for example, and then PS5 comes out, and you trade your PS4 in, but you can't play any of those games they're on. You literally just took your console and 450 games you owned, and they're gone. You don't physically have them anymore. You don't own them. They're gone. I think that itself would be a horrible move.
See, I get that, but at the end of the day,
I see where David and Addict are saying is that in the money aspect.
Because I'm about to tell you, listen, you know what Sony said? Keep it, then don't sell it, and you can still play your games at your leisure. Nobody's telling you to get rid of it, but I'm telling you to buy this new stuff.
As of right now, when it comes to game quality, no one is touching them even a little bit.
Right. So they're in the driver's seat as the market leader.
2, as long as they drop that Horizon Zero Dawn 2 and that Last of Us 2, people can say what they want. They buy the next console.
I see where you're going.
Yeah, the thing is though, first-party exclusives will get you to a point, but that eventually runs out. You just have to look at Nintendo.
I don't agree with that.
Look at Nintendo.
Look at God of War.
Yeah, you can look at God of War.
Sold like 5 million in 1 month.
Yeah, I think Sony's positioned themselves better than anyone for that not to be the case. I don't know that they're ever really gonna have a dry spell.
They don't have no reason. This is the thing. They have absolutely no reason to make any of their systems backwardly compatible. First, we talked about this earlier with the OG PlayStation 3, with the hardware inside. We know that they're not a software company, they're a hardware company, right? All right, so they're going to go the hardware route. They're not putting a PlayStation 4 inside a PlayStation 5. So you're not going to play these games at all. Forget about it, because they're going to tell you, we never told you to get rid of your system. If you want that stuff, keep your system.
They're going to down.
Listen, we got this new stuff
here. They got to do that backwards compatibility. But at the end of the day,
we want it.
They don't need it. Like, they really don't. Like,
we want it.
Like, the way you think they keep a hard line stance, like how they're keeping a hard line stance with the Fortnite crossplay.
The thing about it is that argument that King and Attic were making about how the layman doesn't know that, right? They're gonna tell the layman, like, we understand that these things are basically PCs and they move forward, right? But when you tell somebody, look at the PS5, it's brand new, you can't play these games over here. That speaks to somebody. That speaks to parents. Exactly.
I'll tell you that. A lot of people.
You know what? People don't care. Yo, listen. They said cross progression, which is minor, or Switch is playing nice with the Xbox. They looked at you in your face and said, "So what?" And if you think you're gonna make an account over there, you can't play our stuff. You try to make an account over there, your account don't work here, sir. And you know what? 90 million says no.
Yo, shout out to Slow Mo in the chat. He going hard. He said, "You guys need to understand, when you don't adapt, you go the way of Blockbuster. Sony needs to make some changes."
But here's the thing: so just because if they wouldn't do backwards compatibility doesn't mean they haven't adapted. Look at their games. We're in the gaming industry. Like God of War is every game they've dropped this generation. Just about has been the defining moments of that genre.
Yeah,
they are good.
Let Undead get in.
Go ahead, Dad.
Look. The thing is, I will scream this from the rooftop. Sony has amazing first-party titles. God of War is my game of the year. I gave it a 96 on my review for it. But what people need to understand is that these single-player games, while they have huge success, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, these are exemptions. They aren't the rule.
That is true. Facts.
Look, but at the end of the day,
and say God of War sold 5 million copies in a month. That game spent 5 years with over
development, right? But y'all keep saying this like they're not gonna have cross multi-plat games. This is the part that makes absolutely zero sense, right? Okay, we're talking about the fact that if it's gonna be backwardly compatible. I think honestly, there's a huge loss in revenue in repackaging these games and selling it to these guys over again. That's a huge loss in revenue.
Microsoft is doing it is because they were getting stomped. Let's be real.
Microsoft was getting their head beaten, and they had come up with a situation where it made it seem like we're friendly, we're affordable. You can bring all this. Come on, guys. So when you do the come on, guys, you pigeonhole yourself, okay? And that's why you come on. You know, and I know that they are pigeonholed, just like Addict said.
All right.
They are pigeonholed right now. They are stuck. So you're gonna say, yo, is it possible that they can bring that power that you could see? I can tell you this. That Xbox could be, that Scarlett could be way more powerful than that PlayStation. I can guarantee you that PlayStation 5 will be able to show you that power if it's not backwardly compatible, like 100%, and get every drop out of that system in the beginning.
I get what you're saying when it comes to that, but the way that it's looking right now, it's looking like, I would say Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is going to be a launch title. Like, I think right now, because the topic was about Scarlett. I have no clue how we got on PS5.
It's crazy. We're crazy, but they're linked together.
Right now, the thing that is the most important is when it's coming at, how much it's going to be, and what it's launching with.
Facts.
If I'm sorry, if Xbox doesn't have Halo out the gate, a good Halo, they're not getting out the gate.
What if it's another title that maybe it's a new IP? Or
it doesn't matter. It has to be something drastic.
I feel where you're going, and I'm actually with you. But what about the alternative perspective? Is what if it's like a new IP that looks phenomenal?
See, here's the thing: like, even if the game is good and gameplay looks phenomenal, Microsoft has done nothing to show me that they know how to present games this generation.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but I think the argument with Microsoft this gen has been that they have no new games. If they launch their console with a brand new IP,
that's what I'm saying. Like, what if they have their Horizon Zero Dawn or their God of War? That's a new IP that looks spectacular. Doesn't that kind of get you confident? Like, yo, they didn't do
how spectacular can it look if it's held back by the old system?
But
how spectacular is it gonna look?
This is
like, how spectacular you really think it's gonna be?
Such a foolish.
Get me Undead.
Yeah, dude, we've been making. Why do you keep making this argument? Like you make
the argument is
argument, and you're not a layman. Like, you make a layman.
No. Listen, I'm not a layman, but dude, I want you to take your bias out of it. Are
you guys referring that a layman's a casual? Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Look, let's be real here. The majority of people buying this game out the gate, because that's what the topic was.
Okay, but that's perception. Keep saying it like it's fact. It's not fact. It's just perception.
I want you to really look at this.
Let's be real here. How many casuals do you know is going to go out and buy a game day one?
Get them solved.
Day one.
Talk about that backward compatibility solved.
Listen. How many casuals? No casuals. Day one is all hardcore, right? Day one is hardcore, right? But that's what I'm saying. If you go out and you buy,
that's what we're talking about out the gate. Now look at the casual market.
That's what we're talking about.
Look at the casual market when it comes to. I said out the gate. That was the whole conversation.
That's not what King's talking about.
But he's talking about a different. Y'all both talking about a different subject.
I'm talking about what King's
talking
about.
We're talking about two different things.
Two different things. King is talking about the graphical fidelity being held back because of the old systems coming forward, and you're talking about launch.
I think they need to reiterate what they exactly mean by that, because I just like they're saying that no console will be left behind and stuff like that. Can't be for generations going up forward. It just can't.
See, what Addict wants and what I know what needs to happen. What Addict wants and what I know what needs to happen is there has to be a cutoff, right? This is the reason why, and you're gonna understand this part. This is the reason why. When you're gonna tell me that they're gonna lose, because y'all keep going with this PC stuff and the sliding scale of the graphical power as it goes on. I have a hell of a PC right here. Yeah. All right, and I know that I can play Destiny 2 on a lower form PC. There's requirements for it. So you go. Let's say we go base.
I know where
right?
you're going with that.
And now I can play it at the highest form. Let's say Scarlett is its highest form, right? Now, think about the game that says the requirement is only the highest form and base can't be done.
This is where I agree with you, King, and I hate to cut you. Where I do agree with you because we're going iterative, right? This is almost mimicking cell phones, right? There comes a point, and I want to solve this question.
There's some games in the Google market that you can't play on older phones.
Like, for example,
I completely agree with that. I'm not saying that the OG Xbox One is going to be able to. I'm not saying that. At some point, the baseline has to be pushed to the side, and the next one up becomes the baseline.
Right.
See, but Sony's not going to be doing that though. They're going to be making for that hardware. Sure, it might not be day one because obviously most games are for both systems, but there's going to come to that point where games are being solely made for PS5 and the Xbox One X and the Xbox Two, whatever it's called. They're going to be making games for them.
But this is the thing, though. You're assuming the PS5. You're assuming the PS5 is some bespoke piece of hardware with some crazy, ridiculous engine in it. That's not how they're making consoles anymore. They're making consoles like PCs. That's what we're trying to say. We're not like if you're talking about like PS3 and whatever the hell the Emotion Engine or whatever the hell was in the PS3.
Completely different,
that's how they used to build game consoles before. That's not how they're building them anymore. Both Sony and Microsoft
just because y'all want it to happen.
No, but that's true.
Just because y'all want it to happen, it don't mean that they're not
into R&Ding a bespoke piece of hardware.
Gonna do it.
So wait, King, you think they're gonna go a different architecture and leave?
No, I don't think they're gonna do a different architecture. I just think they don't care to put the work in for that. Like, I don't think they actually care. They don't care to make it easier for you. Yeah, Sony. Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft. Hey, come on, guys. Do you know that is? You know what? Hey, come on, guys, is with them. You know that's their joint. Their joint is playing. Come on, get over here. You know what it is. So Game Pass makes it so that hey, we all are here. We are family together. Yo, Sony don't care for that. Sony doesn't care. Yo, I'm telling you. When you play that PlayStation, you will not be putting that PlayStation 4 disc in there. You will not be taking your transfers over. You will not be doing that stuff. They have shown you constantly step up, get down, or lay down. And people have been getting up. 90 million has got up. So they don't care about, you want to get rid of your old system? That's your fault. Go back and get it. Your account is still available right there. And you can play those games there. Don't do that. Keep both. And you know what they're gonna probably show you? They're gonna probably show you a video with both of them together. This is how you play old PlayStation 4 games.
Oh my god!
This is how you play new PlayStation 5 games.
Man, Yoshida holding the PS4 like I got a system.
Look, man. At the end of the day, that's cool. But when that God of War 2 drops.
On that PlayStation 5, and it looked like
ain't gonna care.
It looked like crazy. Yeah, I feel what you're saying. People will
they're not gonna care
until they see something that crazy to appeal to them, and then they forget.
Cognito, you know to get down or lay down. You know they're gonna force your wallet. You know it because it happens all the time. When they show you that joint that can only be played here, when they say only here.
I will say this, and this is where King's argument is straight, Addict's argument is strong. When you're in the market leader, you're in the position of power. History has shown that those companies tend to be a little arrogant and anti-consumer because they're in a position of power.
As long as they don't come out there and do some dumb shit, they're going to be fine.
Point, like that, you get to the point, like it depends where their hubris meter is. Wherever
the hubris is still high because
you can't play with
Fortnite. Like so, they kept their stance. And they say, hey, if you don't want to play with them, we got us. Are they compatible with the PC or no?
Yeah, they are. They're like,
you can play with us on the PC, the largest community in gaming. I was like, whoa.
Yo,
that is true.
Yo, they are so full of themselves. They said that's a you problem. Get over yourself.
Exactly right.
We went crazy long on this, man. We gotta move on. We are over like crazy. But this is a great addict, guys. Oh my God. King, bring us home, man.
All right. So we know that PlayStation, or we assume that PlayStation has doubled the sales of Microsoft, right? And everyone is talking about this generation like Microsoft is the loser. But we have constantly saw that year on end, Microsoft has posted gains in revenues and in market share in both divisions, in Microsoft and in Xbox. It has shown that it has sold, as far as money-wise, probably outpacing the PlayStation in some regards. They have services that are set up for the future. This goes back to the last conversation. With Game Pass and Xbox Live, they make tons of money in these areas. And they're set up for the future. My question is, in knowing that they're up 39% in revenue from last year and up 34% in Xbox Live and Game Pass revenue, did they really lose this generation when they're making money hand over fist? They did 16 billion as a company this year, and Microsoft contributed, I believe it was 6 billion to that 16 billion. Did they really lose?
This is a good
That's
one,
my
man.
question.
Lord Undead, what do you think now that the financials are coming out and the revenue of software services revenue is up 36%, gaming revenue is up 39%, the Xbox division as a whole financially seems to be doing like, what do you think, this means towards gaming for the future and just maybe the rhetoric going out there as far as Xbox?
Well, what Phil Spencer and the Xbox division has done very, very well is they recovered from a very, very bad hand they were dealt by Don Matrick right off the hop. And what they've decided to do is they can't outsell Sony in consoles. Sony's got these games. They got all this stuff that's going for them that they can't compete with. They can't fix the games problem off the hop. Sony was working on this problem back on the PS3, and they kicked off PS4, and they've been working on this ever since. It's going to take Microsoft some time to get the software to where it needs to be. So what they've decided to do is to bring in the revenue that they're not getting from the software ends of things. They're using services and trying to be more consumer friendly to get more. It's not necessarily making people go out and buy Xboxes. Xbox is consistently third place in NPDs. People aren't going out and buying Xboxes because they're consumer friendly. People are spending more money on their Xboxes because it's consumer friendly and because the services are available there. Game Pass is fantastic if you're a casual gamer. You have access to over 100 games of all different genres, whether it's 360 games, OG games, Xbox One games, first-party games first there. People are buying into that. People are, buying live to play multiplayer games with their friends. What Phil Spencer and company have done is they've made it easier for people to want to spend money on their console. So they're not moving as many units, but they're making more money off of the software people are investing in those units.
Got you. That's a good point, man. Valid point. Lord Solve and Lord Addict.
My take is an L is an L is an L is an L. It's an L. Like anyway, if you talk about it in the conversation of gaming, with the opponents that they have, it's
Lord Snally going to the building. What's up, baby? PD.
Stream team.
What's going on?
What's
I didn't want to blow up any spot, man.
You family to the realm. We family to the realm, man. That invite went out early. Don't even worry about it. Continue on. We'll get Snally doing the building.
So yeah, it's just an L. That's all it is. Now, that said, like any champion, if you take an L and you don't learn from your mistakes, that's on you. That's your fault. And what Microsoft has done is they haven't put their tail between their legs. They learned from every single mistake they made and have put themselves in a position to be considerably better moving forward. So I am more excited now for Xbox's future than I was at the start of this generation before the Xbox One got announced and whatever. They put themselves in that position. They just have to execute. They have to execute. And by that, I mean, they need to have games. They need to have games that people want to be on their platform to play. And when I say their platform, I mean, PC, Xbox One exclusives, whatever that means. But they have to be games that you cannot play on a PlayStation. And that's it. And
all I know is if the initiative's game fails, it's game over.
Why is if the initiative just the initiative fails? It's over.
No, I'm saying that they
it's
put
not game over, but it's gonna
this brand. They're putting so much money into this company.
Listen,
that I
Addict,
think it would be.
They said quadruple A. You respect that name.
Look, man. All I know is if the first quadruple A fails, it's a wrap. Like,
no doubt. I feel you. Lord, Lord Snaldo, what do you think, man? Now that the Microsoft financials have come out, and it's looking pretty positive as far as revenue. Like I said, software and services revenue up 36%, gaming revenue, up 39%. So there's constant growth, you know what I'm saying, as far as that division, and obviously the statements by Satya, saying that Xbox's plans to be a pillar as far as, you know, their business and Azure and all that kind of stuff. You know, what do you feel just moving on forward? Do you feel like about the doom and gloom that most gamers have about Microsoft? You know, does this quell that? Does this dispel that? Or you need more? You see more?
I need to see more. Yeah, I'll like to see a little bit more of what they're planning on doing once, you know, kind of like what you guys were talking about before. I want to see what they start doing in Gamescom. I want to see a little bit more on what their progression is gonna be. I mean, that's what it is to me anyway. So
I feel you, man. All about them games, man. Right? It's all about what you're gonna see. I feel that.
Like I was saying last time, we need some exclusives. We need some content for them.
No doubt. I'm with you, man. I'm with you on that. Lord King, this is your topic, and then I'll jump in before you finish up your topic. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm with Snaldo in the sense that, like, yo, you know, this, first of all, it is great. I'm with Solve in the sense that this is great news, right? It dispels the myth that, you know, the Xbox division is so much trouble, doom and gloom, and, you know, a lot of the fanboys kind of run behind that rhetoric. So that's good to see, and it's good to see the commitment we see, you know, feel at the top of the table now, right? That's really positive. You know, gaming related moves, the E3 Infinity Gauntlet moment, you know, where they had studios announcing. I loved all that stuff. It gave me, like Solve said, tremendous positivity for the future of the brand. And yeah, 10 billion in revenue ain't nothing to sneeze at, you know what I mean? So, like, but like Los Naldo's, like, it's got to transform into games. At the end of the day, you know, it's great that they're doing well. It's great that Game Pass is knocking it out the park, and all that. But we got to see it, you know. And once we see that, that kindly finally puts that stamp down. Like, yo, they're here. These are the investments that we remember. I want to be talking about this ILP, you know, 3 years down the road when said announcement by the initiative, or, you know, this Compulsion's new game, or, you know what I mean? Like, I want to see those games come to fruition and let them be quality games. So then we can say, yo, they on it. You know what I mean? This was a good investment. So that's pretty much what I got. But King, to finish up your topic, then we get out of here.
Oh yeah, let's finish this up so everybody can go do what they got to do today.
Yeah.
I can only say this. I say in positive revenue, no one gets fired. Right. So okay, good. So when everything is positive, we keep the same status quo, and maybe we add pieces to it. Now, we've been seeing them adding pieces to it. You can't go fast if you don't have an engine. You can't go fast if you don't have gas. You can't go fast if you don't have wheels. Microsoft got their car ready to go fast and start from the gate. Sony is already down the track, so there's no need to try to catch up to them in this race. They're going to wait for the next race. They're getting their ducks in order. They're getting everything ready. I really honestly believe Undead hit it out the park when he said price point is definitely key. I think price point dictates everything, and I understand Microsoft believes that. I know they know that they can't say we just have games and you're going to come over here, or we just have services and you're going to come over here and have a dumb price point. I believe the price point will be very smart. I believe the games will be in effect. I believe that they have the studios ready to move, and you will be comfortable with the people that are in charge, because these people have shown you positive growth all the way through. When a company doesn't have to look down, parent company doesn't have to look down on the smaller company and make changes, that means that that company can go forward and do exactly what y'all looking for. They're listening to you, they're watching us right now, and they're understanding your concerns. And I honestly believe out of every company this generation, they have shown they listen to you, and they have implemented a lot of stuff going forward that can show that the next system that you can be comfortable with purchasing. They're trying to keep their core without going outside the box. They're trying to keep their core base. They want the same 45 to 50 million to purchase 45 to 50 million, whatever Scarlett is going to be.
They're better positioned. They're better positioned moving forward than any of the big three. They are the best positioned, and to me, second place would be Nintendo, because Nintendo's considerably forward thinking, considering what we think about Nintendo. I think Sony, like we were talking about in the last topic, Sony at this point isn't playing so much to win. It's playing kind of to not to lose.
You think so? Though? Even with the dominant position,
it just feels safe. You're in dominant position and you're safe. You're not pushing. You're not pushing barriers anymore.
I hear what you're saying, but the only reason why I slightly disagree is because of the fact. But let's be real. Microsoft don't really need Xbox. Like, that's a component of what they do. Like, Sony's whole company, you know, for the rest of their parts of their business is not doing well. What PlayStation is the driving force now of that division. So they kind of got to be hungry and hustling out here in these streets, because otherwise PlayStation doesn't do well. They go under.
But I don't mean about that. I mean, obviously, like we talked about the first party stuff, they have that on lock, and they're going to continue to have that on lock, right? But my thing is, look what Microsoft has pushed forward in terms of services, in terms of the online stuff that they've been sort of reluctant to
I feel to
take the lead on.
Yeah, innovation, services,
exactly,
things that are the future. Okay, I got you.
Exactly. So they had the lead, and they're like, okay, this is how we got here. We're holding on to this. We're not going to push the envelope right now. At least that's the way it feels.
Okay, I got you. Shout out to Mike M in the chat. Don't forget, y'all, Atari's coming back. Sony and Microsoft gotta watch out. The king has returned.
Throw Atari in the bushes. Take the bushes, open it up, and throw Atari in it, and close the bushes and zip it back up.
Look, everyone can thank anything Microsoft does going forward to the fact of how well Sony did this generation, because you know what happened? You know what changed with this? Sony started making insane amounts of money with the PS4, and the head of Microsoft sat there and went, this gaming stuff is actually profitable.
The Terry Myers.
Let's face it. Terry Myerson throttled Xbox. And they thought it was the most useless division in the Microsoft division. He was quoted as saying he thought the mobile division was more important than their games division. And we all know you guys have had Jez Corden on here. You know how Windows Phone went.
Exactly.
Right. So that's the thing, is like they see it as profitable. They want a bigger part of the pie. And that's the thing that they're going for. The head of Microsoft has straight out come out and said the gaming is more of a focus for them going forward. They bought Beam, turned it to Mixer, and Mixer is actually gaining some traction. They're doing things right. And that's the thing, is I think it's going to take a couple of years, but I actually think the Xbox One is in a better position going forward than they were with the Xbox 360 heading into the next generation. Because the 360 rode multiplats and Call of Duty all the way through the end of the generation, and they didn't have anything prepared for the Xbox One.
Damn, you're killing it. You're killing it. My last point. I know I got to go, but you're killing it. And it's just like, you made a good point about that direction. And like I said, I'm a Peter Moore guy. But I have to say, the long-term thinking that Phil is doing and the job of turning this whole thing around. And when we talk about the upper echelon of the Xbox hierarchy, this is what I feel now put Phil in position to ascend and put his name in lights. He's just, to me, the finishing job is just the game. The finishing. I know your old Xbox guys, so I will give it up. I will give it up to you, King. You've been riding. You've been preaching the vision, and I'm starting to see it. And I definitely, he just got to close the deal with that. And then, to the point, I mean, they definitely, set up for the future. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with the Sony thing, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how this generation. But that's all I got. We ran crazy over. We got to end the show soon. New ILP poll with the recent article by Eurogamer on the progress and state of Crackdown 3 development. What do you think Xbox should do in terms of its release? 4 choices, y'all. A, keep the release date. Phil was right to delay Crackdown 3. B, scrap Crackdown 3 entirely. It's a mess. C, move Crackdown 3 to Scarlett. Or D, I don't care. It's going to be a free rental in Game Pass anyway. That is the question. Those are the choices. Please rock the ILP poll when it goes up tomorrow. Lord Undead, an absolute pleasure to have you in the realm of the Lords. Long overdue. Where can people find you? What you got going on?
All right, people can find me on Twitter at Undead3XVI. I write a bunch of articles. I do a bunch of hot takes through the week. Not really. I basically throw stuff up on Twitter while I'm on break and then come back and see how much of a dumpster fire it is. You can find me on YouTube at Undead3XVI. And we're going to be starting to do a little bit of streaming on Mixer, which you can also find at Undead3XVI.
No doubt. What about that gamer perspective, man? Where can it find people? Plug your show, bro.
Oh, yeah. You can find Gaming Perspective at 8 p.m. Eastern time on a Saturday, where I half-drunkenly lead our show through a fantastic list of topics, and we talk about varying things in games. And we got some big stuff coming up in August that I can't talk about yet, but we got some big industry guests coming up.
Nice. Like what you guys are doing, man. Fantastic, man. I love this team you're assembled. You know what I mean? It's really good. I like what you're doing. Very positive. And like I said, I caught last night with Lord Stinger, and that was a really good episode. Please pay attention to what this guy's doing, man. Positive guy in the community. Tells us how it is. Very balanced opinions. A pleasure to have you in the round, Lord Undead.
Thank you for having me.
You already know. And of course, Lord Snaldo with the last minute addition. Stream team in the building. Any announcements, sir, from Stream team? Let us know what's popping out here.
This is the plan. So I would like to first of all thank the ILP crew of David and Addict and Sov and Cognito for helping putting this all together. And so we got a little bit of a stream schedule starting. For my information, we are starting this week, today, but technically tomorrow. We're still looking for a couple more people to fill out the rest of the days. So if you want to get with DM Lord Attic on Twitter, and he's going through people, picking out who to go through. But as of right now, we have people. We have Miss El Boogie on Tuesday. Yes, thank you. She's gonna be doing a daytime cast for us. It's 1 to 3 Eastern Standard Time or 10 to 12 from Pacific Standard Time. And then Thursday we have Super G. He's going to be from 8 p.m. to 10 Eastern Standard or 5 to 7 Pacific Time. And then myself on Friday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Maybe a little longer. I don't know. It all depends what's going on. That's 4 to 7 Pacific Standard Time. And then Addict, I think, because he hasn't told me exactly when he's going to do it on Sunday.
As you said, it's hard to get a hold of Addict. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's a little hard. I would like to rename him the Riddler because he always answers questions with a question. But,
the Riddler, I like that.
I love him. He's a good guy. And
You do not say stuff to make my intro longer, man.
The Riddler. I might throw that in, yo.
So I think he's gonna be doing it on Sundays. I assume right after the stream schedule. But
It'll
what
be
I'm
around 4-ish, 5-ish.
Yeah, so more than likely it'll be right after this, the way you guys have been running. So I would like to tell everyone here, though, we would greatly appreciate it for you guys to come in, even if it is just to say, yo, what's up? And then just leave the window open, say, hey, what's going on? Just drop it in, say what's up, say how you doing. And, we would love to see the community grow, and we'd love to hang out with everybody else. And keep an eye on the Twitter, the ILP Twitter, so that we can end up, you can see what's going on, what's changing. If something happens, where we're going to be adding another person, adding another day, like sliding a time, an hour, or something like that. So we would greatly appreciate it if you guys would do that. And I would like to say thanks again for you guys for this opportunity to help this ILP team and the podcast grow. The name for us is Iron Lord's podcast on Twitch.
On Twitch,
so
baby.
Twitch.tv/Iron Lord's podcast.
That's right. Appreciate you, man. Like again, and shout out to, like I said, Lord Addict, King coming up with the ideas and stuff like that, and then Lord Snaldo just really putting it together. I mean, I'm very excited about this. Getting the game community and getting the schedule together, and we're trying to do this, man. So like Lord Snaldo said, if you guys could just jump in there for a minute, just hit that like. We really trying to get this thing popping and engagement with the gamers. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the game. So shout out Lord Snaldo, Lord Addict. Where can people find you? What you got going on?
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube, Gaming Addict, and Mixer actually. Lord Addict ILP. Definitely been streaming on there. I will be streaming on Twitch as well. Only for the ILP. I won't be streaming on my actual channel on Twitch.
Okay, I appreciate that, bro.
But appreciate everyone from coming by. See you next week.
No doubt. Lord Sov, where can people find you? What's going on?
You guys can find me on Twitter, LordSovILP.
Invisible.
I'm not invisible on Twitter. I just don't answer.
There's a difference.
You can find me on PSN, Xbox Live, and BX Sovereign.
Apparently on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Get on fire, so it's blown up.
And you can find me streaming Horizon Zero Dawn on PS4.
Oh, streaming?
No, I'm lying.
I was about to say, I thought y'all
you're gonna play these selfish experience games. Can we at least get a stream?
I was like, oh, we got a fifth. I was like, it's good.
We may have
That's not gonna happen. Y'all talking to the wrong dude. Y'all should stop now.
DJ Six and Saw, what's up with them codes?
Next week, baby. You got to be in the chat next week, baby. No, next week.
Right.
Week after next. Week after
Let's
next.
give out them fraudulent codes. Go straight to boss move.
Boss move.
Those DM codes to boss moves.
Those codes are already in his DM where they call us the fraudulent podcast with giveaways. Yo, Lord King, where can the 5 people find you? What you got going on?
All right, you guys, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And listen, we have Combat Talk this week. We're going to talk about Mikey Garcia. We're going to talk about Robert Easton Jr. with this big fight that's coming up next Saturday. So I'm going to give you fighter breakdowns. I'm going to give you prediction, and I'm going to give you results. You're going to have 4 shows this week. But I didn't give you anything this weekend. We had some stuff that was going on this weekend, but I didn't feel like it was Combat Talk worthy. Until they step their game up, I'm not going to bring you anything fraudulent. But ILP on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Instagram is lit, y'all. Please.
Instagram is
follow
crazy.
The ILP podcast on Instagram. Wow.
Get in there and see stuff that you have not seen. And catch the Lords out of pocket. Yes. I cannot stress it more than we got things. I got pictures. I got pictures that is going to blow your mind. You're gonna be like, what?
Easy,
you
gotta relax.
These guys are afraid of what I drop. They're afraid of what I drop every day. And they wake up and they see something new and they shake their head. But I'm gonna tell you right now, get in there. All right. Facebook is more or less, for the promo to let you know the schedules and stuff like that. So Stream Team, you're gonna get that information there. Twitter, you get all of that from us. Interaction. You want to talk to me, you want to go at me, I'm gonna like and I'm gonna retweet everything that you say. So I really don't care. I really don't care.
Instagram, you see King in that suit, he looks like a pimp. He looks so
Yo, wait, hold on. Salute.
I love it, man.
Oh yeah, we pimped out. That was for the big 4. That's birthday. But yo, shout out to Mr. King with Salute. He just subscribed to the Gaming Perspective. That's what we want to see. That's what I'm talking about. Finish up, King.
So listen, man, that's exactly where we're at with it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, catch us on every social media so you can see where we at in these events and what's going on. We want you to have engagement with ILP 24/7. If you have a question, if you want to see us playing video games, you want to talk to us, we are accessible. We are not exclusive. We are inclusive. Pure gaming is the motto. 100%.
You already know. The King has spoken. You already know. Yeah, once again, man, salute again, Lord Undead. Can't thank you for enough coming on the show. It was absolutely lit. Man, really appreciate it. Please follow this man on Twitter and again, Multiverse Show, as well as the Gaming Perspective. Again, salute to all the newest ILP Patreon subscribers. It means so much to us, man. You have no idea how humbling that is to see you guys rocking with us on our journey. Super shout out to those guys of the Iron Bank. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the YouTube media, Kai Box will get the media up later today. Of course, Flashpoint 23 with Evantis is up. We kind of go in on Game Informer, spoiling a little bit too much. But all in all, a good show. Please catch that. And if anybody got anything else, we could wrap this thing up. Everybody good? All right. Everybody enjoy.
We're good, baby.
Everybody enjoy your Sunday. Peace.